The third preseason game is traditionally the most important for the men at the top of the depth charts, and the Cardinals would like to wash the bad taste of the second dress rehearsal out of their mouths bright and early this morning. After a sloppy showing last Thursday, Cliff Kingsbury and his star pupil Kyler Murray have a sharper performance in their focus up in the Great White North. And the defense hopes to set a more physical tone than they have yet to show this August. There's time before the real thing kicks off September 8th, but Arizona is on the clock. Vikings, Cardinals, Game 3 of the 2019 preseason, now.
Welcome to U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis, where the preseason reaches its apex with game number 3, as the Cardinals and Minnesota Vikings perform, for all intents and purposes, a dress rehearsal for the regular season, which is only 2 weeks away. And hi, everybody. I'm Dave Pasch alongside Ron Wolfley. Wolf, in the past, the third preseason game was everything because the starters played usually into the second half. Now, that has changed in recent time with more regular sitting, but Cliff Kingsbury knows how important it is for his starters to play a lot today, so we'll see Kyler Murray for at least a half. What are you looking for out of him today?
You know, generally speaking, David, I want to see Kyler Murray make better decisions with the football like he did in preseason game number 1. I want to see him throw the ball with more accuracy like he's done the entire offseason, like he's done all through training camp and into the Chargers game as well. But specifically, I want to see Kyler Murray beat the blitz, baby. You better believe it. Defensive coordinators are going to come after Kyler Murray. The concepts of this offense and the status of its rookie quarterback lends itself to being tried by fire, and they're going to come after Kyler Murray. Or as the old pigskin proverb says, David, until you beat the blitz, you're going to see the blitz.
They saw it last week. They'll see it again today. More snaps for the starters means more of Larry Fitzgerald in his homecoming to Minnesota. The 2019 regular season is almost here. Our best snapshot of what it's going to look like is next.
Arizona Cardinals preseason football is brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. By Hyundai, proud partner of the Cardinals. By Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness. And by Desert Financial Credit Union. Wherever life takes you, we have your back.
Welcome back to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minnesota. Lisa Matthews here with you right before kickoff. Now, a big area of focus today is, of course, the cornerback position due to Robert Alford. He's going to miss an extended amount of time due to a leg injury, and now the Cardinals are without their 2 starting corners, and that changes for this defense and Vance Joseph. You know, he likes to play an aggressive style, lots of press coverage and blitzing, but now it's all about protecting some of the younger guys. Now, the veteran in the group, Tremaine Brock, has experience under Vance Joseph. Chris Jones has flash. Byron Murphy will have no choice but to play inside and out. And guys, the door is back open for Brandon Williams. So definitely something to keep our eyes on today as Vance Joseph and the Cardinals try to solidify their back end of this defense. Guys?
Well, Brandon Williams is not suited up today. Neither is Patrick Peterson because this is a regular season dress rehearsal. So with Pat P unavailable for the first 6 games, the next time we see him will be in New York, Week 7 against the Giants. And this will be a touchback. Pharaoh Cooper, the deep man, and so Kyler Murray takes the field for the 3rd time as a member of the Cardinals. Game 1 against the Chargers, Murray had only 1 incompletion, struggled a bit in Week 2, has yet to complete a pass between the numbers down the field in 2 preseason games.
It's so interesting, David, because Paul Guenther, the defensive coordinator, of course, for the Oakland Raiders, a disciple of Mike Zimmer. He was there. He was the linebacker coach in Cincinnati when Mike Zimmer created the blitz bail, the father of the blitz bail concept right here. Kyler Murray saw a lot of the blitz last week.
The 5 offensive linemen The Cardinals expect to start week 1 are out there unless Shipley is beaten out by Mason Cole. But AQ getting the start today at center. And Murray to throw on the first play. And now chased out of the pocket. Takes off. And fumbled the ball, but he was out of bounds around the 27-yard line. So a gain of a couple for Murray.
Well, I love that right there. Did you notice 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends, David, in the shotgun? That's a little change up right there on the very first play. The Cardinals showing a little bit of what they might do down the road.
They got 3 tight ends in. I don't know if we're going to see any 3 tight end formations in the regular season or the quarterback under center. David Johnson forward for just a couple yards. Grabbed by Everson Griffin. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, I absolutely love that, though. Once again, yes, 13 personnel, 1 back, 3 tight ends. Run a play in a north-south kind of way. You got to get the block at the point of attack. That's about developing a physicality. And the Arizona Cardinals, David, need to develop that physicality on both sides of the ball.
Mike Zimmer, head coach of the Vikings. Great defensive mind. We'll see what he has for Murray here on 3rd and 5. A quick pass to Charles Clay, and he's knocked down for a loss at the 29-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down. Mackenzie Alexander with the stick.
Well, there it was right there, right? They're trying to play a little mind game, Jedi mind trick with Kyler Murray right there. Had 7 guys around the line of scrimmage, not on the line of scrimmage, but close by. Brought 5 of them right there and bailed out on the snap of the ball, 2 of them.
So 3 and out. Andy Lee to punt to Chad Beebe. And we got a penalty marker down, false start on Arizona.
False start, number 81, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Darrell Daniels, Cardinals have a lot of penalties in week 2 against the Raiders.
Boy, that is going to be something right there. When you talk about the learning curve for Kyler Murray, David, it starts with some package above all else. 3rd and obvious pass situations like what we just saw right there. That's going to be where pre-snap read is going to be everything for this young guy in his development as a quarterback.
So Chad Beebe deep here. Vikings have a new offensive coordinator, Kevin Stefanski. Gary Kubiak is a consultant and the assistant head coach. We'll see what the Vikings offense looks like with Kirk Cousins in his 2nd year with Minnesota here in a second. As Beebe returns it for about 6 yards past the 30-yard line. And it was a disappointing year for the Vikings. They paid Kirk Cousins all that money, and he had a good year. In fact, Cousins has had 4 straight years of a quarterback rating of 94 or higher.
Illegal block in the back, number 39, receiving team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down, Minnesota.
So Marcus Epps commits the penalty, but Cousins only had 10 interceptions. The one thing they want him to do is run the ball more on 3rd down when he faces pressure.
You know, to me, I think Mike Zimmer wants to be a much more physical team this year than he was last year on both sides of the ball. And I honestly believe that Kirk Cousins needs to be in a New England Patriots type offense, if you will, a Tom Brady type offense. One of the things I've seen out of him a lot this preseason so far is a lot of 21 personnel, 2 backs, David, with a fullback.
Well, we talked to Rick Spielman, the Vikings general manager, on the field before the game, and he was telling us how much they love Alexander Madison, a rookie from Boise State, a running back. They've got Dalvin Cook, but Cook has been injured some, but they feel they have a great 1-2 punch to run the football. This drive starts on their 20. And it'll be Cook. And he gets about 4 yards. Good hesitation there in the backfield, waiting for that hole to open.
Well, that is a beautiful play right there. 11 personnel, 1 back, 1 tight end. Watch it right here. This is the tackle zone. Look, hat on a hat, play side, build the wall backside. Did you see that seam form? That's exactly how you want to block that play, and that's where guys need to get off blocks and make plays. That
was Joe Walker and Chandler Jones on the tackle. Play action here and a quick throw to Diggs. Good pursuit by the Cardinals. Jordan Hicks makes the play on Diggs. It'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Look, I'm not saying that Jordan Hicks is Einstein. He is not, but he is one smart, erudite football player. This is a guy that smells out what the offense is going to do.
3rd round pick out of Texas back in 2015. Now in his 5th NFL season. First with the Cardinals. Unrestricted free agent signed from Philadelphia. So a loss of 1. It's 3rd down and 8. Cousins with time, taking a shot, and overthrew his receiver Diggs by a mile. So they attacked Tremaine Brock on 3rd down and long, but Cousins was way too long with that toss.
Well, he airmailed that thing right there, right? A little blitz bail being played by the Arizona Cardinals. A little quid pro quo, David. One thing in exchange for another. That is what Mike Zimmer created, mugging the A-gaps with 2 inside linebackers and then bailing on the snap of the ball.
Farrell Cooper is deep. Matt Weil the punt. And there was some movement up front by Minnesota. The long snapper got knocked over. Everybody else moved.
Neutral zone infraction number 45. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
And as they say, it was on Pete Robertson.
Well, anytime you line up on the punt pro team, David, or the punt return team, you get a little loose. Little greasy in there, as a matter of fact.
Well, especially now you're trying to win a job.
Yeah, well, you never know. I mean, you're trying to get in there, block a punt, maybe make a play, get noticed. Look at me, coach. But you will get loose in there.
Cooper under it, has it on the 27-yard line, and up to the 32 before he's brought down. Kyler Murray, 1 for 1 passing on the opening drive. The defense looked pretty good. In particular, Jordan Hicks taking down Stephon Diggs for a loss. No score early in Minneapolis. Welcome back to the Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. Dave Pasch, Ron Wolfling. Here we are, way up high in the end zone. We got a good look at Kyler Murray, though, based on where the ball is. We were talking about Kyler, and you and I both felt that last week could be good for him long term, because here's a guy that's won his whole life. He's been trained for this since he was very young. He hasn't faced a lot of adversity. He won in high school. Now, he did transfer from Texas A&M. Faced a little adversity there. So maybe some of the hits he took and some of the struggles from last week will help him when the regular season starts. Murray rolling out here. His pass batted down. Incomplete. It was Jaron Kearse making the play.
Well, that is a play right there that I love for the Arizona Cardinals. Think that it will work at some point in time. You can see him riding, meshing with David Johnson right there. Then the little rollout. And he was trying to hit Trent Sherfield coming back on the comeback route on that outside. It forces the perimeter to either run up and defend or bail.
Murray throwing it deep here, and it's on target, caught inside the 40-yard line by Demir Bird. They love Bird's speed, and they think he still has a chance to make the final 53.
Watch this right here. You got a cover 2 look, and he gets outside on the fade. Great pocket, great protection for Kyler Murray, and he drops the dime into the basket right over the shoulder. What a beautiful throw by Kyler Murray, and a better route by Demir Bird.
33-yard pass play to the 35 of Minnesota. Here's David Johnson getting the carry, and on the cutback, lowers the shoulder. And down to about the 30-yard line for 5 yards.
I love that, David, right there, right? 12 personnel, one back, 2 tight ends, a tight end on either side of the ball. Kyler Murray under center, taking the snap, and here it is right here. The tackle zone, hat on a hat, play side, get the cutoff backside. David saw the cut a little bit late on that play.
You got Mason Cole in there now at center for A.Q. Shipley. David Johnson last year averaged 3.5 yards a carry. 3 years removed now from that 2,000-yard season in terms of scrimmage yards. Here's a screen to Johnson. And he's inside the 25. And the ball came out. It's picked up by Curse. They're going to blow it dead, though, at the 20-yard line.
Oh, baby. Big Red got Mike Zimmer that time. Corner blitz. Watch the corner blitz coming off, right? And then you watch David Johnson here at the end of the play. Wow, that ball is out. That ball is out.
That is a fumble.
That is a fumble, no doubt.
And it was an immediate recovery by Curse. Anthony Barr and Anthony Harris were teaming up on the tackle, and they got that ball out.
Well, that is too bad. That was perfectly executed by David Johnson and Kyler Murray. A screen into a corner blitz. Perfect time to run it.
And you have your best drive with your starters since the first game. So Mike Zimmer challenges it, and it appeared that there was clear video evidence to overturn the ruling of the field. So likely a turnover by the first team offense after a good pass by Kyler Murray, all for naught. Well, somehow the ruling on the field stands. We'll take it, but I mean, this is as clear and obvious as it gets. I mean, that's indisputable video evidence. The ball is out.
Well, you just see David Johnson do a great job flashing on that corner blitz and then turning around looking for the ball. And man, I thought that ball was out,
well,
David.
It's out there.
It's out.
And then it's out there.
Wow.
But
wow.
It's a preseason, so at least this is good for the Cardinals. It allows them to see if they can pay off this drive, which has them in the red zone. Vikings lose a timeout, too, in the failed challenge.
Boy, that was so perfectly executed. Once again, right into the corner blitz, coming off the slot. Bada bing, bada boom.
David Johnson again, and this time he is drilled at the point of attack by Everson Griffin. Excellent player for that defensive line for Minnesota. They do not have Linval Joseph today, but the Vikings really good up front.
Just don't understand what happened right there. Some type of communication breakdown with the tight end. 11 personnel trying to run the one back power in that situation, and man, Caleb Wilson looked like he just totally got confused play side.
Murray to throw here on 2nd and 8, and it is caught at the 15-yard line by Charles Clay, who came over in the offseason, try to provide somebody that fits with this offense as a tight end who can flex out and play some receiver.
Boy, do I love that right there, right? A six-man protection with David Johnson out there. Charles Clay lines up, runs that out route. Little 5-yard out. You put the ball on him. That is one of the huge components of the air raid scheme. Get the ball out quickly.
3rd down and 4 on the Minnesota 14. And they got a timeout. Haven't seen Christian Kirk in the game at all today yet for the Cardinals.
Boy, I like that right there. Kyler Murray looking around, David. A critical 3rd and 4 situation, saying, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Everyone just hang on. I don't like what I'm seeing right here. Critical situation. 3rd and 4 in the red zone. What do you say we talk about? I love that. That's a good decision.
And it's something that you rarely see from a rookie, but Kyler Murray, we knew from day one, he's got such a great feel for this offense. He knows exactly what he's looking at pre-snap. Now, as the regular season starts and defenses throw different things at him he hasn't seen, we'll see how he handles it.
That's a little growth right there from the grasshopper.
Got Chase Edmonds back there with him here on 3rd down. Murray with time to the end zone. Kirk makes the catch. Is he inbounds? No, incomplete. Anthony Harris in coverage, so it's 4th down.
Oh, Kyler Murray, the mighty Kyler Murray, late on the corner throw. You check it out right here. There's the corner from the number 3 spot. He was just late on the throw. Good teaching moment right there.
Yeah, clearly out of bounds. Even the first foot hit out of bounds.
Just a smidge late.
Zane Gonzalez on for a short field goal try. And the Cardinals are on the board first. Dave Pageron and Wolf laid back in Minnesota, where the Cardinals lead the Vikings 3-0. Cardinals scoring drive presented by Santan Ford and Gilbert. Santan Ford and the Arizona Cardinals. We are Santan Ford. So an 8-play, 54-yard drive highlighted by that 33-yard pass play to Demir Bird. And then a 32-yard field goal by Zane Gonzalez after the Cardinals could not pick up 3rd down on, as you pointed out, Wolf, the late throw to Christian Kirk in the end zone.
When I say late, it was just a hair late on that throw. As you saw, he was just out of bounds. A good read, though, by Kyler Murray. And you could also see the accuracy on that throw. The timing was just a hair off.
But that's all it takes, right? Especially at this level.
Once again, a great moment to teach.
Amir Abdullah is deep for the Vikings, but he's going to let this one sail over his head, so it'll be a touchback. Kyler Murray on that last drive was 3 of 5, overall 4 of 6, and he's run the ball 1 time. Vikings starters on offense back out there. Cousins spent 6 years in Washington before coming to the Vikings. Remember, the Redskins drafted Robert Griffin III and then Kirk Cousins in the same draft. And RG3 had that great year, got hurt. That opened the door for Cousins. And he's become a very good NFL quarterback. And they'll run it here to Cook. And he's able to push the pile out to the 30-yard line before Corey Peters jumps in there. So a gain of 4 on 1st down, but holding is the call on Minnesota.
Check this out, 13 personnel right there. You're running the inside zone with a tight end sealing the backside. They got a good push, play side. The back cuts it all the way back. And a holding call, of course, is going to nullify it right there. But 13 personnel, 1 back, 3 tight ends, David. That is a quintessential power personnel group. And I think the Vikings were going to come out and run a lot of north-south power personnel plays. But now all of a sudden they're playing behind the sticks.
They drafted Garrett Bradbury to be their center. And they've got an I formation in here, which again is making a comeback in the NFL. It's 1st and 20. C.J. Ham in front of Dalvin Cook. And Cook on the cutback with running room. He's across the 35, and he might not be caught. Joe Walker is chasing. So is Byron Murphy. But it's a house call for Dalvin Cook. 85-yard touchdown.
Well, there it is, 20 personnel, 2 backs, 3 wide receivers. All they did was run the ISO to the left. They got a hat on a hat, play side. It was a great cutback by Delvin Cook right there, and then you could see the Jets. But listen, that is the problem with the Arizona Cardinals right now. The rush defense has been a little suspect.
More than a little. Going back to last year, the extra point makes it 7-3 Minnesota.
No, right? Watch Jordan Hicks right here on the backside. Go ahead, boys, run this play. They're running just nothing more than an inside zone, basically, to the strong side. The back makes a cutback, but you can see right here, there's no conceal, there's no backside contain, and also getting off the block right there by Jordan Hicks. He's got to do a better job being more physical and getting off that block.
That was Rodney Gunter, who you circled the second time there, the end man on the line, as we have another touchback.
It's a play right there. You just got to be right on the backside, right? You've got contain. Yes, you understand that the bootleg was a concern for Rodney Gunter on that play. But the backside has got to make that play. They did everything they wanted to do. Got a hat on a hat play side with a lead fullback.
Well, height is a concern, Wolf, because we know with no Patrick Peterson or Robert Alford that you're worried about the pass defense, but if you can't stop the run first, boy, so David Johnson gets the carry here and stumbles forward for a yard or two. Shamar Stephan on the tackle. But if you can't even stop the run first, forget worrying about the corners.
Yeah,
because you got no shot. You got no chance if you can't stop the run.
There's no doubt about it, David. I mean, this is where it's got to begin, the physicality. And I was talking about it at the top of the broadcast. Physicality, David, is a mentality. And it's a mentality that understands the better man wins. You know what's at stake. Therefore, you give what you got.
David Johnson did get 4 yards on that first play of this drive. So 2nd and 6, and Murray's going to throw. And not sure if that got tipped or what, but it was well short of Christian Kirk. He did have one pass knocked down earlier, but it was not technically at the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 6.
There's going to be a lot of defensive coordinators, I think, this year that are going to bring pressure against Kyler Murray, blitz packages against Kyler Murray. And I don't think it's just going to be in sub-package. I don't think it's just going to be in 3rd and obvious pass situations. It's also going to be rundown. 1st and 10, 2nd and 1 to 6.
You got a regular season type atmosphere. This stadium's full and loud on 3rd down. Murray in trouble. Gets away from one man, throws downfield, incomplete. Tried to hit Sherfield. Kearse broke it up. 4th down.
That was a nice job initially of forming a pocket for Kyler Murray. As he went through his progression, though, suddenly the pressure coming from the middle bailed out. You can see him right here, right? Looks like he's got a little bit of a pocket. Now the pressure up the middle moves him out to his right. A great read and a great throw down the field. That's just a great play by Kearse.
Andy Lee kicks this one deep. Abdullah backs up to his 14-yard line. Breaks a tackle at the 25 and finally dropped by Gardeck at the 30.
Well, the coverage teams have really been good for the Arizona Cardinals in the first 2 preseason games. That time, not so much. Abdullah with a nice, you could see it right there, David, couldn't you? This was a guy that is running laterally. Anytime you see that on a punt return, look out, because at some point he's going to go north, and that's when you got to be ready to make the play.
Vance Joseph, first-year defensive coordinator, head coach of the Denver Broncos the last couple of years. More on him in a second as Cousins throws here on 1st down. And miscommunication with Chad Beebe, the receiver, so 2nd and 10. Look at the resume of Vance Joseph. He's a big Wade Phillips guy. Coached at Cincinnati, San Francisco. When Bill Davis, who's now the linebackers coach, he was the defensive coordinator at one point. Former player at Colorado and in the NFL for a couple seasons. Has great energy, very well respected defensive coordinator.
No doubt about it. He loves the 3-4 scheme, and he loves to play man. Most of the time closing the middle of the field.
They're going to run it, and a ton of room for Madison again on the ground. Enough to move the chains, a 10-yard pickup.
It's all about backside, backside, backside once again. It's not about play side. So much of the time you see the backside right now, and the cutoff blocks on the backside are being executed so well by the Minnesota Vikings. You got to get off the ball. Use your hands. Be in the right gap. Make the play. It's a whole lot of want to, David.
Some movement up front. Zach Allen jumping into the neutral zone. The rookie out of Boston College. Was he drawn offside? Walt Anderson, our referee today.
Neutral zone infraction number 56. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Touchdown.
They actually got Terrell Suggs there, but Allen was offside as well.
Gotta love Walt Anderson, right? I mean, you think that guy owns like 100 acres somewhere in Texas? I mean, if ever there was a guy that was going to own a ranch, it'd be Walt Anderson, I think.
He's worked with the Big 12 for many years. Cliff Kingsbury familiar with him, which we thought was going to play a role today as Madison just got tripped up there. But we thought that because Walt Anderson is here, him being familiar with the clap, right? It's been talked about ad nauseum for the last week. Yes. But we haven't, I don't think we've seen the clap from Kyler Murray.
No, they're going on the silent count, as a matter of fact. Silent count here today, and makes a lot of sense going on the road. But the clap, very interesting, because you can hear that clap even when you're on the road.
Cousins back to throw here, facing pressure and getting sacked. Michael Dogby, rookie from Temple, 7th-round draft pick, that has a great chance to play week 1. They really like what they've seen from him.
Watch Michael Dogby right here. You want to talk about beef jerky, baby. There's the jerky. He's the beef. Here comes Dogby right coming up the middle. And there's the jerky on the sack. That's the way you do it. Michael Dogby is the guy that really has impressed.
Usually you start making food references when we get closer to halftime, but you must be hungry. You didn't have a big breakfast.
You don't have any, do you?
Cousins, they set up the screen, and it's almost intercepted by Suggs. 17-year pro, Chandler native, went to ASU, of course, and now back home with the Cards.
Look at that. Look at this old vet right here. My goodness. T-Sizzle. Saw it coming all the way. Oh, yeah, you're going to dump it out the little screen. Yeah, how many times do you think Terrell Suggs has seen that play? I'm going to say hundreds. That's just Wile E. Coyote right there, you savvy vet.
Pharaoh Cooper, the deep man again, and a penalty flag.
You just...
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Then getting in the guilty man as you look at Mike Zimmer in his 6th season, 2 division championships, 13 wins 2 years ago, but last year when a lot of people thought they were going to go to the Super Bowl, they went 8-7-1.
That guy is the master right there of the blitz bail, the father of the blitz bail, where 2 guys will stand up in the A-gaps, mug the A-gaps on either side of the center. That was Zim.
So we'll try this again with Matt Weil punting to Pharaoh Cooper. And Cooper catching it out of bounds around the 23-yard line. All right, so we talked earlier about the clap. Something we see in the NFL all the time. And last week against the Raiders, Kyler Murray was called a couple times for a false start for what they said was a clap that was abrupt. And we didn't see anything abrupt about that. Certainly when you compare it to what we've seen for many years in the NFL. And the guys in the truck did a good job putting together some plays from a year ago, which we're going to show you, from other quarterbacks that were not called for penalties that were far more abrupt than what we saw out of Kyler Murray against the Raiders. And Max Williams in the backfield with David Johnson and Murray here on first down at the Arizona 25-yard line. Johnson for about 3 yards. So let's take you back to last year. Watch Sam Darnold here. This, again, was not a penalty.
Come on, you got the leg going right there. Look at the clapping right here.
Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill. Wait to see Josh Allen.
It's like everybody clap your hands.
This one here was a 4th and 8 play. He's just trying to get Minnesota to jump offside.
Well, look at the legs going right there. The guy's doing literally the cha-cha back there. That's abrupt. Kyler Murray clapping his hands. That wasn't.
Murray taking a shot here on 2nd down and 7 and well overthrown. I don't know if it was something that the Raiders happened to say to Carl Cheffers, the referee, before last week's game that put him on high alert, and because officials have been out to Cardinals training camp and mini camp, and again, what we saw from Kyler Murray last week was not abrupt.
I saw John Gruden grilling Cardale Jones in the Gruden, what was that, the quarterback camp, right?
Yep.
Grilling him about the clap count and not liking the clap count and thinking it was a full thing to do.
Here comes a blitz. Kyler Murray on target for a first down to Demir Bird. Out to the 45-yard line, a 17-yard gain. Murray had missed on his last 4 throws, but not that time.
Look how beautiful this is right here. Demir Bird running around. One-on-one, right? Man cover. Doing a great job. Kyler Murray as well with that throw. Reading the blitz coming from his right and throwing it over to Demir Bird. That was a good read by Kyler.
First 3rd down conversion for the Cardinals. Murray to the air again. Moving out of the pocket, trying to dump it off to David Johnson, but he gets dumped by Eric Kendricks for a loss of a couple.
Well, that's one of the things we've seen the Arizona Cardinals do an awful lot of in training camp and the first 2 preseason games, trying to get David Johnson the ball on those screens from the backfield. And it has worked more than once so far this preseason. That time, well defended by the Vikings.
Cardinals go 4 wide here. Christian Kirk, who's only played a couple snaps so far in the game. As Murray in the pocket now takes off. And he's across the 45, shows off that elite speed as he picks up about 6 yards. That's where his running ability, if the Cardinals get off schedule and they lose yardage like they did on first down, this is where he can get yardage back to put him in 3rd and manageable.
Yes, no doubt. That was an excellent job, though. A great pocket for Kyler Murray right there. But when you got a guy like Kyler Murray, who's got this incredible speed, you don't want to discourage him from doing what he just did.
Closing in on a minute to go in the opening quarter, and a 3rd down and 7 for Murray near midfield. Murray's pass, back shoulder, perfect to Keyshawn Johnson inside the 35-yard line. A gain of about 17 in the first down.
Right here, this is literally Kyler Murray throwing a Twinkie into a toaster. Look at this throw. This is perfect. One-on-one back shoulder fade. Throw the ball in a perfect spot. A great throw. Beats great coverage every time, David. Never forget that.
And Minnesota's got very good corners. Trey Waynes was the defender there. You have also Xavier Rose, who's one of the best in the league. That's 2 3rd down conversions through the air on this drive for Murray. Moving it around in the pocket here. And his pass high and incomplete. Tried to hit Christian Kirk. Man, that thing had something on it. That was a laser. As Murray was moving to his left there.
Watch this right here. Set the feet. Bam. Laser beam.
Kirk's got to catch that ball. I know it was a little high, but Christian normally makes that play.
Yeah, Christian Kirk is going to be a great player, too. He's going to be upset with himself, I promise you right there, because he should have caught that ball.
So you saw the number 7 of 13 so far for Murray. On 2nd and 10, going to run David Johnson here. And Johnson picks up a first down. One of the best runs we've seen of the entire preseason, a gain of 12 on the play.
That's exactly what they need to do right there. Get David Johnson going in this offense. Run the ball. That's the counter play. It's a gap scheme, a power scheme. Down blocks on the play side. Pull the uncovered lineman, right? Kick him out. And then here comes the tight end up through the hole as well. Well executed. They got to get that guy going.
So the Cardinals gave up an 85-yard rushing touchdown, but the offense has looked much better in preseason game number 3 against Minnesota.
David, check this out right here. Look at this. That is J.R. Sweezy. We're going to get down blocks here. Pull the guard, the uncovered lineman around, right? There goes the tight end up through the hole. That is perfectly executed. A gap scheme, a power scheme, not just a zone scheme. You got to be able to do both in today's NFL.
That tight end was Max Williams, who played his college ball here in Minneapolis at the University of Minnesota. First down to the 21, and it's a draw play to Johnson, trying to find a hole. Instead, he's dragged down after a gain of 2 by Anthony Barr. So with the second quarter underway, 15 minutes before halftime, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more in car insurance. Visit geico.com today. Dave Pasch, Ron Wolfley, Lisa Matthews on the field. We're in the Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. Cardinals finish up preseason Thursday in Denver, and then 2 weeks from tomorrow, home against Detroit to start the 2019 regular season.
That's the guy they got to get going. You can see they're trying to get him going here today.
Murray to throw here. Surveying, now lobbing it for Williams. Overthrown. Well covered, Anthony Harris. It's 3rd down and 9.
Holding, number 64, offense, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Didn't see the flag. J.R. Sweezy, who you mentioned made a good play on that 12-yard run, just made a mistake. They're getting called for the hold.
J.R. Sweezy, I guarantee you right now, he'd brawl anybody. One-on-one right here. Yeah, got that hand down, pulled him on the shoulder pad. That's a good call. Just can't do it. You got to be disciplined as an offensive lineman, and JR be the first one to tell you that.
So it's 2nd and 19. Back now at the 30. Murray fires to his right, and it's Keyshawn Johnson making his second catch inside the 25-yard line. Johnson, a rookie out of Fresno State, who was drafted in the 6th round, one of 3 receivers taken by the Cardinals in the draft, and he's ahead of the other 2. One, Andy Isabella, who is a 2nd-round pick. Although the coaches feel Isabella's going to be fine, it's just a matter of time. But Johnson has picked things up quicker. Akeem Butler, the other receiver that was drafted, he might have to go to injured reserve because of a hand injury.
Listen, you got to learn how to run routes, the nuance of the route. Andy Isabella's got to learn how to do that like he has.
So it's 3rd down and 13. Murray takes off and steps out at the 20-yard line.
Well, Kyler Murray right now has shown a penchant for actually throwing the ball, as we've seen earlier. Check this out. Demir Bird on the corner, cover 2. Looked like he was open. But once again, you really don't know where they're trying to emphasize that, right? They did game plan a little bit for this game coming in. You don't know exactly where he's looking on every play.
And when he's looking there as well.
Correct.
Zane Gonzalez puts it through. He's 2 for 2, and the Cardinals are back within a point early in the second quarter at U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis.
Welcome back, everyone, to U.S. Bank Stadium. Lisa Matthews here with you. The Cardinals are down 7-6 early on in the second quarter. Now, Cigna proudly sponsors the Kicks for Kids program For every successful Cardinals field goal, Cigna will make a generous contribution to Cardinals charities. This season's beneficiary is SARC, the Southwest Autism Research and Resource Center, advancing research and providing support for people with autism and their families. Well, the Cardinals' 33rd pick overall corner Byron Murphy is ready to play wherever the Cardinals need him to, and they will, in fact, need him after both Patrick Peterson and Robert Alford will be out. He has no choice but to learn on the job and is expected to play right away at the slot position and nickel, depending on how the competition, of course, shakes out on the outside. Byron does feel like he has an advantage, having played with guys like Christian Kirk and DJ Foster in Arizona, and of course Buda Baker in college, for those prior connections just with the transition part in the NFL. And of course, on the field, he adds that going up against guys like Larry Fitzgerald every day in practice has helped prepare him for this moment. Guys?
Well, the Cardinals loved him. They had a high first-round grade on Murphy coming out of college, so they expected him to be in the mix and play early on. They just didn't know it was going to be this much.
I think they'd love to go ahead and ease him in as a slot corner, that nickel corner, right? And with Patrick Peterson and Robert Alford get healthy, get off suspension, maybe that's where we'll go.
So an empty set. You saw Madison leaving the backfield. Cousins going to throw to Diggs. The ball pops out, and it's caught out of the air by Baker, but it did hit the ground. It's incomplete.
That looked like Byron Murphy right there. Make a play, young man, right? Watch this. Little tight man cover. Go ahead and get the arm in there. Knock the pig out, baby. That is a big-time play.
Against a great receiver.
Gun, you got that right.
That's Stephon Diggs you're covering there.
Corners need confidence. They need a little swag. That'll give them a little bit right there.
On 2nd and 10, Cousins gives it to Madison, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and then a flag flies in. Zach Allen in on the tackle with Gunter.
Holding number 69, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Rashad Hill.
Arizona has elected to decline the penalty. It's third down.
So it makes a 3rd down and 10.
Well, I like that right there, that last play. When we talk about physicality, did you hear the pads popping, David? Physicality is about mentality. Watch this up front right here. We got some guys that are balling right here with violent hands, getting off blocks, making a play, be in the right gap, do your job.
Out of the gun on 3rd and long. Cousins steps up. And a sack at the 22-yard line. Zeke Robertson was back there first. Cousins got cleaned up by a couple other guys, including Zach Allen. But how about Robertson, who's had a terrific camp?
I love it. We got 7 guys standing on the line of scrimmage right here. A little bail right there, right? Still bringing 5 so much of the time. Zach Allen getting a little Kirk Cousins grease.
Or Pete, I said Zach, right? I mean, Pete Robertson has been really good. He had the 1 penalty earlier in the game, but Robertson has played very well. Played at Texas Tech in his 2nd year, played 4 games with the Redskins a year ago. Here's Cooper on the return for the Cardinals, and he's tripped up back at the 24-yard line by Boone. Early 2nd quarter, Cardinals offense back on the field. Will it be Kyler Murray, or is he done for the day? Find out in a minute.
The day after every Cardinals game, get a large cheese pizza for just $9.99. And each touchdown scored by the Cardinals is a free topping. When the Cardinals win, double the toppings. Promo code CARDS TFT at papajohns.com.
You want a pizza and you want a bite of that cookie that kid was just eating. You see that thing?
You know what? It's not the sweets, David. It's the salt. Give me a bag of salt and vinegar, and I guarantee I'm going to kill that thing and wear it as a hat.
And then you complain about how bad your stomach hurts all the time.
I don't complain.
You did last night after dinner. Whatever that was you put on the fries. Here's a pass to Kirk over the middle, and does a good job to keep his balance and pick up about 5 yards out to the 30-yard line. Kirk got hurt about midway through last season, and There's no question Josh Rosen was not the same after that. Granted, the offensive line wasn't good, but Kirk had become, other than Larry Fitzgerald, Rosen's favorite target.
Look at this, David.
Chase Edmonds gets the carry. Short of the first down, picks up a couple yards. And a lot of the second teamers in on defense for Minnesota. Starters still out there on offense for Arizona.
And I love that, David. Once again, 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends. Get Kyler Murray under the center. I love it because it shows the Cardinals are going to expand the football universe when it comes to their offense, right? Blend the old and the new, not just the new.
How about
Don't be dogmatic.
You got a guy from Fordham with a Chase Edmonds sign.
He's waving that thing like he was on The Price is Right.
Edmonds in his second year. Murray with a quick throw to Larry Fitzgerald. And he makes the catch for a first down.
That is the great thing about Larry Fitzgerald. It's one of the reasons why I think Larry is going to have a great year. I'm talking 80-plus receptions for Larry Fitzgerald. You saw it right there, how quickly the ball comes out. He's going to be targeted by Kyler Murray.
Obviously grew up here, was a ball boy when Dennis Green was a head coach, ended up getting drafted by Dennis Green for the Cardinals back in 2004. And hey, well, he had 69 catches last year. So you got to think, given the offensive struggles a year ago with this offense, that he's going to get at least 80. Here's David Johnson again showing some patience, waiting for a hole to open, and gets 3 or 4.
I love that right there again. The tackle zone, come back to it. 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tights. Kyler Murray under the center. It's just an expansion again of the football universe. Watch it. Nice hat on a hat, play side. Where's the wall? Where's the wall? David found the soft spot in that. Good job up front and a good job of running the ball.
So it's 2nd and 6 now. Murray back in the gun. Edmonds is there with him. Murray facing pressure, and he completes the pass short of the first down to Seals-Jones. But, boy, again, you see the arm strength of Murray as he's backing up with a defender in his face. He makes the throw.
Watch this right here. Chase Edmonds with a nice pickup on the blitz, allowing Kyler Murray to get that ball out. That is the one thing about Chase Edmonds. David, he's not a big guy, but I guarantee you right now, he'll stick his face into the fire.
Well, and he's a guy that they're counting on to catch passes. They think he had 20 catches a year ago. He can be a good receiver in this offense. Had a couple of rushing touchdowns last year. 3rd down and short. Murray on the rollout. It's Kirk, and he picks up the first down before he's knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line by Alexander.
In the immortal words of my former offensive coordinator, that's like stealing right there, bro. That's just stealing.
Which offensive coordinator? You said he was immortal. Who are we talking
Jim
about?
Jim Schaffner, of course. You probably don't remember Jim Schaffner, but Schaff was a great offensive coordinator for Gene Stallings. I'm telling you right there, that's like stealing. Roll out Kyler Murray, boom, in the flat to Christian Kirk.
And I got to imagine if the pass isn't there, he can just take off, right?
Exactly.
Cardinals are doing well on 3rd down so far. Murray to the sideline and put it on target to Keyshawn Johnson. They finally drag him down inside the 25-yard line, but it's about a 25-yard gain.
Boy, that is young on young crime right there, is it not? What a great job by Keyshawn Johnson running that route against a cover 2 look. You have a corner jam at the line of scrimmage, rolled up corner with a safety over the top, runs the fade down. Kyler read it the whole way and put it on him. That's beautiful right there. 2 young guys getting the job done.
So Murray moving the Cardinals offense down the field. They're on the cusp of the red zone again. They've had to settle for field goals, though, twice down here. Johnson on the carry, gets stuffed at the point of attack. Eric Wilson in there first. There is a penalty marker down in the secondary.
I love it. The Cardinals actually coming back with a power scheme, a counter scheme.
Holding, number 76, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Marcus Gilbert call for the penalty.
The blending. You see the Kansas City Chiefs, David.
Yes.
The Kansas City Chiefs blend the old and the new together. And look at their offense. When you get the right guys running that offense, obviously, with Pat Mahomes, but you get the speed out there on the field. This is what the Arizona Cardinals are trying to replicate here.
Andy Reid was a good sounding board for Cliff Kingsbury when he got the job because of the relationship that he had with Andy Reid through Patrick Mahomes, who played for Cliff, and obviously everybody came out to meet with Cliff and Pat when he was there before the Chiefs drafted him in the first round a couple of years ago, and of course won the MVP last year. 1st and 19. Here's Max Williams, the former Golden Gopher, inside the 30-yard line. So a gain of about 6 on that play.
This is really good work right here for the Arizona Cardinals. Little surprised that the Minnesota Vikings haven't come with more heat, more pressure. Haven't seen blitz bail the way that I thought we were going to see blitz bail here in the 3rd preseason game.
You talked about Mahomes, Wolf. There are some other
Yeah,
players. Mayfield for a little bit when he was a walk-on originally at Texas Tech. Case Keenum when Cliff was on the staff in Houston, and when he was the offensive coordinator for Johnny Manziel when he won the Heisman Trophy. Kyler Murray going to try to run the ball here. Ball did come out as he was tackled, but he was able to grab it. Odenigbo showing some speed, and that's one thing that Kyler's going to have to get used to. The defensive linemen run a little bit better in the NFL than they do in college.
They literally ran the zone read right there. You see him pull it out, and now all of a sudden he's got this 300-pounder chasing him. That's what the NFL is all about. You named it, David. You named it. That's exactly what it is. Speed, baby. This is a whole new paradigm at this level.
And again, he hasn't really been hit much in the preseason. That one is going to sting a little bit. He was obviously down when the ball came out. He was trying to slide, but he was too late with the slide because Odenigbo was on him. Now it's 3rd and 17. Murray's pass batted down. That's the second batted ball. That was Stephen Weatherly. Might have been dropping in coverage, or hard to tell right there, but it is 4th down.
Well, that's one of the things as well when you play Kyler Murray. You know, every defensive coordinator is going to be stressing that right there. Hey, keep your eyes up, your eyes up. Easier said, though, than done, because Kyler gets the ball out so quickly, and he's got a cannon for an arm, David.
Right.
Boom!
A lot of different angles he'll throw from. He did not have a lot of balls knocked down in college.
No.
He has had 2 here today, though. Gonzalez is perfect again. Boy, he has had an incredible preseason kicking the ball, and the Cardinals take the lead.
It's got to feel so good right there because he's had trouble from that distance.
Back in downtown Minneapolis, got the Mary Tyler Moore statue. We're at US Bank Stadium, which is a phenomenal facility. It's been open now for a few years. We've been here for preseason twice and in the regular season last year.
Well, you got to love any stadium that actually is designed after a long ship. Those are the greatest things ever. The Vikings, you would have made a horrible Viking, of course.
Why is that?
Well, first of all, because your hair.
They don't have any?
Yes.
Got a lot of Cardinal fans here. How about the windows are open here at US Bank Stadium? Temperatures in the upper 70s today.
Beautiful.
Probably the only time all year the windows will be open. This will be a touchback. Minnesota will start on its 25. Kyler Murray so far 14 of 21 for 137 yards passing. He's run the ball 4 times for 9 yards. There's those windows which retract. Again, we were here in the preseason a few years ago, and it felt like winter just driving here, though. It was overcast, right? I mean, 75 degrees. You wouldn't know it, though, by looking outside, windy. And
I grew up in Buffalo. I've seen that sky before.
Cousins to throw here on 1st down, a diving attempt by Beebe, but incomplete. What do you think about the Vikings this year, Wolf? Because there's no doubt they disappointed a year ago. They were kind of the in vogue team, many picking to win the NFC after 13-win season in 2017.
Just reading some of the information about the Minnesota Vikings and talking to some of their people as well, people that would know, they want to be a much more physical team this year. Look at them right here, running the ISO.
That's Madison. He's up to the 28. Well, look, Mike Zimmer. Remember when Rick Spielman, Rick told us, he's the GM a few years ago, when they hired Mike Zimmer, he said it was based off of the Cardinals' hire of Bruce Arians. Rick had become friends with Steve Keim, and they had a lot of conversations about hiring someone who had been a career NFL assistant, who had been in the league for 2 decades, but had not gotten an opportunity to be a head coach.
They want to be more physical on both sides of the ball, and that was B.A. B.A. wanted the bash and bomb offense.
Cousins on 3rd down and 7 over the middle, and a big hit on Zylstra by Thompson. Deontay Thompson, the 5th-round rookie out of Alabama, first-team All-American. But it is a first down for Minnesota. But I like seeing that kind of play from Thompson.
Boy, look at this right here. This is a great job by Thompson. Oh, that had to hurt David right there, right? You're catching the ball. It's like your neighbor grabbing a wheelbarrow and just running it right into your legs.
But they gave him the first down based on where he caught the ball initially, and forward progress was stopped. And the ball came out that time as Madison lost it. Bradbury recovered it. They may have said that the running back was down anyway. Well, another thing ruling in the field was a fumble. Bradbury recovered it anyway.
They're trying to run the power right here, right? Actually getting a down block play side. Looked like that ball definitely came out.
He just tripped over Klein, who got pushed back a little bit. I think Gunter maybe had enough force on the offensive lineman to push him back. Deontay Thompson in there again on Madison at the 40-yard line, gain of 4 or 5.
This is a physical possession right here by the Minnesota Vikings. Do you see what they're trying to do? Inside zone right there, which is a north-south zone scheme. It's not like the tackle zone or the outside zone where you snap the ball and you start running east-west. It is north-south. It's a very physical zone. That's what they're doing. They're running physical plays here.
Starting offense and mostly second-team defense out there for the Cardinals. 3rd and 6 for Cousins. His pass is through the hands of the intended receiver, Beebe. Incomplete. 4th down.
Well, a good job by the Arizona Cardinals getting off the field right there, but that was a mistake by Beebe. You got to catch that ball.
So other than, as you look at the passing yards, I was going to say, other than the one play, the 85-yard touchdown run, which obviously a big play, but other than that, the defense has been better in this game.
Yes.
Cooper is deep again as the returner. He's got it on the 13-yard line. Can't make that first guy miss, and he's slammed down by a couple of Vikings at the 15, led by Austin Cutting. Cameron Smith down there as well. So the Cardinals backed up. See how Kyler Murray runs the 2-minute here. 2:24 on the clock. They have 2 timeouts. They'll also get the 2-minute warning.
This is going to be very interesting. Are we going to see it finally? Are we going to see this up-tempo, the rumored up-tempo, no huddle right here?
Well, Brett Hundley's in, so they got the starters out of there. They saw what they wanted to see, and now they're putting Brett Hundley in the second-team offensive line.
Right, here we go. Will they go up-tempo?
Hundley's numbers have been very good so far in preseason. And a penalty marker is down. Boy, they said false start.
False start, number 7, offense.
Oh, no.
Penalty. First down.
Okay, so there is the first false start against the quarterback.
No.
I'm assuming that's the abrupt clap again? See if we can show that, guys. I don't know if we can get it in quick here before they break the huddle, but I didn't see Hundley do much of anything. Yeah, there's that
there
fake
was
clap.
with
Is that abrupt, though? Is that...
I don't know if that's abrupt right there. I honestly, they've got to get that figured out.
Again, we showed all those clips of plays that weren't called
Just
last year.
ridiculous.
Far worse than that. Chase Edmonds moving the pile out past the 15-yard line for about 5. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, once again, David, this is what happens in the preseason a lot of the time right here. The officials are making a point of emphasis, right? And they'll call things that during the regular season they just don't call.
But I'm concerned they might call it in the regular season with this.
Well, I think we saw it in the first game of the preseason. There was no flag, no illegal procedure call, of course, or false start on the quarterback. But we'll see where this goes from here.
So the Cardinals lead 9-7 at the 2-minute mark. We're back in our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. The plan was for the starting offense to play at least the first half, but Cliff Kingsbury saw all they needed to see. And with Kyler Murray on the sideline, we now know that we'll see him week 1 healthy, because he's not going to play on Thursday night. And that's really the biggest thing with preseason game number 3. Yeah, you want to evaluate the young guys and you want to have your first units look good, but you also want to make sure that all the guys that started this game are out there against Detroit 2 weeks from tomorrow. Here's another false start.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
I mean, this is a concern, Wolf, if they're calling it. And look, a lot of people said, well, Walt Anderson, he's familiar with it because he's a supervisor officials for the Big 12. He knows Cliff Kingsbury. He's seen the clap before, but he's calling it the exact same way that Carl Cheppers called it last week.
I don't even understand. He lifted his leg.
There was no clap.
What? This is off the hook and has got to get fixed now.
Hundley's pass is pulled in around the 18-yard line by Keyshawn Johnson again. And Wolf, I guess clearly a message is being sent to the Cardinals. And it's maybe because, look, you've got a head coach that has not been in the NFL before. You have a unique offense that we haven't seen a lot of in the NFL before. But when you're getting penalties for just lifting your leg, when it's not even about the clap, that's a problem.
They're actually doing the silent count. That's what they were doing right there. Not the clap count, the silent count.
What we just saw, we see from every other quarterback in every offense in the NFL.
I don't even know what to say about it. You conspiratorialist. What is going on when Brett Hundley lifts his leg and then suddenly there it is? You're calling a false start on the quarterback. What are you doing? Somebody's got to explain this to me.
And now as a quarterback, all you're doing is thinking about that.
Yes.
You're doing your pre-snap reads while you're thinking, should I lift my leg? Should I clap or not clap? What should I do?
Delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
You see what it's doing?
Yeah, it's in his head, and it was in, I think, Kyler's head last week.
This is something right now. It's going to, organizationally, it's going to have to come down to Steve Keim, to Cliff Kingsbury, to Michael Bidwell maybe, saying we need clarity on this.
This is where Al Riveron has to say, look, this is how it's going to be called during the regular season. No subjectivity, and it has to be called in unison across the league, well short of the first down. Let's show you, so it's 4th down. Let's show you this package from last year. Our team put together some clips from last year. Now, none of these were called penalties a year ago. This is Sam Darnold of the Jets.
Look at that. Is that abrupt right there out of Sam Darnold? Yes. Look at
Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, lifting of the leg, the multiple clapping. Darnold again. Now watch, wait till you get to Josh.
Twice.
Yep, movement of the arms and the shoulders. I mean, Josh Allen clearly trying to draw him offside.
That's abrupt sense of urgency right there. You got to be kidding me.
So if those aren't penalties, and what the Cardinals are doing right now in preseason is a penalty, then somebody needs to explain, here's how it's going to be called this year. And needs to tell all of the crew chiefs that this is how you're to call it, because right now it's subjective, because as you pointed out, in week 1 of the preseason, it wasn't called. It was called in week 2, and it has been called so far in week 3 the exact same way it was in week 2. We didn't even see Kyler Murray clap at all in the first quarter. On the return, Abdullah gets close to midfield. 1:34 to go. The Vikings are out of timeouts.
But I will tell you that, boy, does that mess with your head. If you're Brett Hundley, if you're Kyler Murray, if you're a quarterback, you can't even get the most base component of running a football play down, which is the cadence. And if it is because of the clap, all right, and the fact that you're faking a clap, like Brett Hundley did that one time, well, how is that any different than you saying, hot, hot?
Right. The whole idea is, that are you doing something to deceive the defense? As Kirk Cousins gets dragged down by Zach Allen as he tried to throw a screen pass, incomplete.
It's about simulating a snap. That's what they're worried about. That's why they're calling a false start. Look at Zach Allen right here. This kid's got so much get off the ball. You watch him in one-on-ones in training camp, Zach Allen impresses with his get off.
That was against Pat Elflein, the starting left guard. Allen forced into a starting role himself because of Darius Phylon's issue and being kicked off the team. Cousins pass pulled in by Diggs at the 30. Inside the 25 before he's taken down by Chris Jones.
So right here you have the Arizona Cardinals playing a little bit, a bit of a zone, look like cover 2 as a matter of fact right there.
I saw 2 defenders collide.
Absolutely, but playing zone instead of man.
Cousins knocked down by Walker, incomplete. Abdullah, the intended receiver.
Well, that was a nice job by Joe Walker right there. Walking tall. Guy also carries a big stick from time to time. Watch him right here on the angle route, the in route. Doing a nice job right there, coming over the top without interfering, getting his hand on the pig.
Walker, a very important player because he's good on special teams. 4th NFL season, played 14 games a year ago for the Cardinals. Here's 2nd and 10. Again, Cousins over the middle, and again the pass is broken up by a linebacker. This time it's Dennis Gardeck.
Gardeck, the barbarian. Man, I would have done anything to have hair like Gardeck, right? Hanging out the back. Look at him right there. That is a nice play by Gardeck.
You guys are like soulmates, because every time you see him, you go up and talk to him, and he's there listening to you.
What is good, Gardeck?
He's from Sioux Falls in his 2nd NFL season. Cardinals are going to call a timeout. They have 2.
This is the second.
Talk about their defense.
Arizona, 32nd timeout. What's he looking for, boys?
You know, Gardeck is a key special teams guy. It's going to be interesting. Hassan Reddick has not played all preseason. If you think about the 11 guys, if you look back at April, May, and said, okay, here are the 11 guys we think are going to start on defense. 4 or 5 of them will not start against Detroit. Darius Phylon, gone. Robert Kimdichie, gone. Patrick Peterson suspended. Robert Alford hurt. Am I missing anybody? Hassan Reddick. He's been hurt. He hasn't played in the preseason, and don't know if he'll be available week 1 yet.
It is amazing right there, right? All those guys, and yet at some point in time, they're going to be back. It's just when.
Cousins on 3rd down and 10. Pass may have been tipped at the line. It was well behind the intended receiver, Zylstra, and it was deflected at the line of scrimmage. So it's 4th down. Let's see who got a hand on it.
Oh, guess who? Zach Allen. And this kid, have a day.
6'7".
Have a game. Zach Allen. Sneaky good.
You know, Wolf, they've compared him in some ways, Vance Joseph has, to J.J. Watt because of his athletic ability for his size, ability to knock down passes, and for how relentless he is. The field goal is not close from Corey Vedvik, so the Cardinals are going to get the ball back with 47 seconds to go and 1 timeout left.
Well, maybe they can get something going right here. A nice stand by the defense right there. Maybe the offense will get going here. Close this first half out on a positive note. Getting off the field right there is huge with 47 seconds to go. Maybe they can get off the field, get a little rhythm going in these last 47 seconds, move the chains a couple of times. And even if they don't score, just walk off feeling better about how this first half has gone.
So first down on the Cardinal 33. You have Lamont Gilliard at center right now, rookie out of Georgia, 6th-round pick who they really like. Hundley's got a wide open Seals-Jones on the sideline. He's pushed out, which is going to stop the clock at the 50-yard line, so it's a 17-yard gain.
See, this is what I'm talking about right here, David, right? Get it going. You can see him. The Vikings are playing quarter coverage. 4 deep, 3 underneath, rush 4. Quarters is hurt by the out route, and that's exactly what Ricky Seals did. Ran the out against that. Good read by Brett Hundley. Good throw.
So Cardinals with 219 yards of offense. Vikings 130, and 85 yards came on one play. Hundley in trouble. Flag down. Hundley escaping the pocket. And picks up about 6 before he steps out. But again, a penalty flag in the backfield. You usually get a hold there in that situation.
Holding, number 66, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, Wolf, it's almost like I feel like I'm conditioning myself to watch Brett Hundley to see if he lifts his leg or claps now before every play. Because clearly that's something the officials are watching closely, and you just don't want it to get in the heads of the quarterbacks. And that's why it's something that's got to get settled here before the regular season starts.
I think it's already in the head of the quarterbacks. I can't believe this issue has reared its head once again.
Hundley on 1st and 20. Zips that one to Andy Isabella, but he cannot hang on. Incomplete. Or wait, they're saying he caught it and fumbled it. Boy, that thing rolled on the ground. Looked like right after it hit his chest, but Duke Thomas picked it up and returned it inside the 25. Most of the Cardinal players just stopped. Most of the Viking players stopped, but they did rule it a catch and a fumble.
Well, let's take a look at this if we can, right? Because I believe Andy Isabella, once again, he's got to catch the ball cleanly as he's making a transition to actually catching it and tucking the ball away. You can see that he's got his hands on it right there.
That's not a catch.
Yeah, no, that doesn't look like a catch to me. It didn't look like a catch to me when I saw it live.
Play pass. It's second down.
Boy, I mean,
but
so now they changed the ruling in the field to incomplete. So at least they get the initial call right. I just don't understand what the back judge was looking at.
The thing is, David, Andy Isabella's got to catch the ball with his hands. He's got to learn how to catch the ball with his hands.
28 on the game clock, please. 28 on the game clock, please.
And he let that ball come into his shoulder pad, if I'm not mistaken. Now, DB did a great job of getting his hand on the ball, getting the pig out, right? But you got to catch it cleanly the first time. That means catching the ball away from your body. That's what Andy Isabella has got to work on.
2nd-round draft pick. Led the country in receiving yards at UMass a year ago. They put 7 seconds back on the clock because of the incompletion. Hundley going to check it down here. Edmonds does a great job to stay in bounds. Incredible balance along the sideline. Gravity eventually wins, but after he picks up about 18 yards and stops the clock with 20 seconds to go.
Watch this right here. Are you kidding me? How did he get around that edge right there?
It's like a Sports Center top 10, man.
That is unbelievable.
How did he physically do this here for another 10 yards?
I walked the line, says Chase Edmonds.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Johnny Cash Got nothing on him.
Didn't we see Edmonds last year make a play where it looked like he was down at about the 2-yard line because he was parallel to the ground?
His body was 28 seconds and 20 seconds on the clock is correct. The clock will start on the snap.
His body, it was like in goal line, and his body was parallel to the ground, and everybody on the field, including us, upstairs in the booth, thought he was down.
Yes.
But it was a touchdown. They reviewed it, and it was upheld. It was confirmed.
We call that do the worm. He was worming his way into the end zone.
So 3rd and 2 with the clock stopped at 20 seconds. They do have a timeout, so they run the ball and get the first down here with Edmonds. Now they'll call the final timeout of the first half with 16 seconds to go.
David, this is what we were talking about.
Final timeout, Arizona. 30-second timeout.
This is what we were talking about right here. 47 seconds. Maybe you get a little something going here. Get that bad taste out of your mouth from the whole clap count debacle. You positively move the ball down the field. Maybe you get a shot at a field goal here. Boy, that would be unbelievable if somehow, some way you could get 3 points out of this possession. Go in at halftime, come out with a dark heart and a painted face.
St. Gonzalez is 3 for 3 on field goals. And it would be about a 57-yard attempt from here. And with only 16 seconds on the clock, any pass play you would think has to go to the sideline.
Look at this. Mugging the A-gaps. Now Bellin.
Hundley can't take a sack. And he doesn't. Kept his balance and then threw it away. Denebo was in the backfield that time. 9 seconds to go.
What you're trying to do is just a 4-man rush right there, right? But what you're trying to do by standing up backers in those A-gaps initially is try to change protection or confuse protection schemes. Don't know if you're actually going to blitz or bail on the snap. That is Mike Zimmer through and through.
Ball on the Minnesota 39 with 9 seconds to go, and that's Isabella, and he gets down, but they're not going to have enough time here to snap the ball. He needed to go out of bounds, or that pass from Hundley needed to get out quicker to the sideline. So that was not executed well. So the Cardinals leave an opportunity to get 3 points on the board. But they have the lead 9-7. Overall, Wolf, the first team offense and defense look good.
They looked a lot better. There's no doubt about that, David, and that is a good thing. But right there, once again, I got no problem. They move the ball down the field. They got to feel better about themselves just moving the ball in the last 47 seconds. I'm not going to like the way that half ended, but at the same time, at least they were able to move the chains a couple of times.
Saw some excellent throws from Kyler Murray. We saw him use his feet to scramble and either avoid a sack or just extend the play. Let's check in now with Lisa Matthews.
All right, Coach, you wanted to make an emphasis today on starting fast, but how do you feel like both sides of the ball settled in?
Some good, some bad. That was disappointing there. A bunch of penalties, some drops, some bad football there at the end. So we got to clean some things up in the second half.
We saw 3 on Hundley this time for the snap. Can you make any sense of what's going on with this communication?
I don't want to get fined, so I'm going to stay away from that. But it's an interesting, ongoing discussions that we've been having.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys?
All right, Lisa, yep, good job. Had to ask that question, and hopefully we will get some clarity on what the officials are looking at and what is going to be called, and will it be uniform or subjective during the regular season. Halftime here in Minnesota. Cardinals lead by 2. Minnesota at US Bank Stadium. Cardinals lead the Vikings as we get ready to start the second half. Take a look at some of the numbers from the first half. Cardinals gave up 85 yards rushing on 1 play. Otherwise, the defense was much better than it was last week. Kyler Murray threw for 137 yards. in that first half. Did not turn it over. Did have a couple passes batted down. And don't know in those situations, Wolf, if you can recall, or if it's going to come down to film study, of whether he was just confused because on one play it was somebody at the second level that knocked it down, and on the next one it was a defensive lineman that looked like he was dropping into coverage, rather than just him being short and not being able to get the ball over the line of scrimmage, which is what many people assumed and were concerned about.
Exactly. It's 5'10" and an 8. Are you kidding me? That's why the ball's getting batted down. No, I don't believe that's why that's happening right here. I think it's a combination of things, right? Listen, Kyler Murray does not have a problem. One of the reasons why he gets the ball out so quickly, right? That's a good thing. But also it's the arm strength. Once the ball is out on the release, David, boom! It is the proverbial laser beam that gets it out quickly, and it's the reason why he's so difficult to read before getting the hands up and batting a ball down. He's a hard guy to read in the pocket.
And running it out is Olabisi Johnson for Minnesota. We haven't seen many kick returns in this game, but Johnson does a pretty good job. Gets it across the 30-yard line. Out of bounds at the 32, so that's +7, right? Because on a touchback, you take it to the 25, so you got an additional 7 yards. The first team offense for Minnesota played that entire first half. And it's Sean Mannion time now, the former Ram who spent the first 4 seasons with Los Angeles, 53 career attempts. He's battling Kyle Sloter for the backup job behind Cousins. Mike Boone is the running back. And the ball's on the ground, and the flag down as well as Mannion covers it up.
Well, that's no way to start a half.
Number 90, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Terrell McClain, the guilty party. The Cardinals have been penalized 10 times in this game now. 10.
Got to do a better job of that. Once again, between the false starts by the quarterbacks, the clap count, the difficulty and the confusion on that, pre-snap penalties, got to get those cleaned up.
So on 1st and 5, they'll run Boone, and he gets tagged as Dogby and Walker stuck their faces in there and made the tackle. So no gain on the play.
Boy, that was a booty bomb going off in the hole. Did you see that right there?
A what?
My goodness. The booty bomb, David. You don't want to be the booty. You want to be the bomb. Look at right here. Are you kidding me? What an awesome job at the point of attack by Joe Walker.
Play action here for Mannion on 2nd down and 5. Throws it underneath to Boone, and he's able to get the first down. Brought down by Deontay Thompson, but it's enough for Minnesota to move the chains.
Got to have a little bit better coverage, a little tighter coverage right there, but a good open field tackle. You look for the positives in preseason, right? Regular season not going to be good enough. Got to do a better job in coverage, but coming up and making the play, that says something, Deontay.
Mannion back to throw here on 1st down. And the pass is caught by Johnson into Cardinal territory. Joe Walker on the tackle, another 1st down. We showed you a shot of Vance Joseph. Just want to let you know that you're going to actually hear from Vance later in the quarter live. Now the offense is going to be on the field, but Vance is going to put on a headset and join us and talk to us about what he saw in the first half from his starters.
A lot more zone being played here today. We'll talk to him about that. That last play they were playing zone, and 2 Minnesota Vikings receivers ran the same route, and they still completed the pass.
Yeah, there were 2 purple jerseys and no white ones in that area. Here's Boone, and a big hit at the line of scrimmage by Miles Brown.
Did you see Miles Brown come down the line against that tackle zone right there?
Lost 2 yards.
Watch this. Miles zone coming on the backside, right? Get in my belly. That's the way you roll them up right there. Look at Miles Brown right there. What an awesome job getting off the block.
Dogby got off another block too on that play. He's played well. Miles Brown went to Wofford. Here's 2nd and 12. Mannion Pass through the hands of Laquan Treadwell. Incomplete. Treadwell, a former first-round pick who is in danger of getting released, and for that reason has dropped a lot of balls.
Chris Jones working against him. Chris Jones is a guy that really has flashed and needs to step up for the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, with Pat P in his 6-game suspension, Robert Alford out for at least half the season, we assume. Chris Jones has got to be a guy that steps up and balls.
3rd down and 12. Mannion gets hit by Brooks Reed and sacked. The ball came out as well. They haven't signaled who's got it. Looked like an offensive lineman from Minnesota recovered it.
You saw Brooks
Reed. It is
Reed.
4th down.
You see him getting the edge right there with his hair flying. There it is. What a nice job getting the edge. Brooks Reed, a savvy edge guy. He's been doing it for a long time in the NFL. Coming around the corner like a Visigoth with the hair flying. You got to love it. That's how you play this game.
Hard to tell if Mannion was down before the ball came out, but it was recovered by Drew Samia of Minnesota anyway. That's good for Brooks, just trying to make this team. 9-year pro, 32 years old, former 2nd-round pick by Houston. And the fair catch made by Demir Bird around the 13-yard line. It remains 9-7 Arizona, early 3rd quarter in Minnesota.
Welcome back, everyone, to U.S. Bank Stadium. Lisa Matthews here with you. Cardinals up 9-7 here in the 3rd. Are you the best fan in the nest? Your Arizona Ford dealer's Best in the Nest sweepstakes is back for the 2019 season. Enter for your chance to win a 2-year lease on a 2019 Ford F-150. Visit buyfordnow.com and stay tuned for information and registration details. Well, guys, it's been an uphill battle and climb for wide receiver Trent Sherfield, who went undrafted in 2018 before ultimately signing with the Arizona Cardinals. But his hungry underdog mentality has now pushed him amongst the top of the pack in a crowded receiver room. And it's not only his plays on the field, but his work ethic off of it that is catching the eyes of his teammates and coaches. Guys, every single practice after spring and in training camp, him and Christian Kirk are the final 2 players to walk off the field, and all the attention to detail and extra work is finally paying off, possibly solidifying his spot on the roster, guys.
Well, Lisa, he's so important on special teams.
Such a good special teams player, a gunner on the punt pro team, guy that can cover kickoffs.
TJ Logan on the carry out to the 28, gain of 7. Here's Trent Sherfield's 2 touchdowns from Brett Hundley. I don't know how that ball got through 2 defenders to Sherfield.
Great throw by Brett Hundley. Right on the money and a great route. This is even better right here. Yeah, oh baby. Tap him up, babe. That is so nice right there by Trent Sherfield, and another great throw by Hundley.
Normally you keep 5 or 6 receivers. You wonder, because of it being a receiver-heavy offense, will the Cardinals keep 6 or 7 at that position? Play action here for Hundley. Moving to his left, and that one was way too hot to handle for Logan. Hakeem Butler, as a 4th-round pick, he was going to make the team, but he did not have a good camp. Because of an injury now, they could put him on injured reserve, which would then open up a spot for somebody who was going to get released to make the team. And you got to think Keyshawn Johnson is on the team, Isabella's on the team, Sherfield on the team as well. Could you take a Charles Clay, and even though he's a tight end, he can play receiver role?
He can run wide receiver routes, but he's not going to be viewed as a receiver. I'm wondering what they're going to do. 6 receivers, 2 tight ends, and then maybe Ricky Seals-Jones as a swing guy.
Hundley keeps it, steps away from one man, but then dragged down to the 28-yard line by Devontae Downs. That'll bring up 3rd down.
That's going to be one of the more competitive rooms on this roster. There's no doubt about that. You can see the true zone read right there once again being run by the Arizona Cardinals. And you see the speed of the defenders in the National Football League among blocks.
I totally spaced. As I was talking about the wide receiver room, Cardinals just signed Michael Crabtree the other day, and obviously he's going to be one of the 6 or 7 guys that the Cardinals keep, and likely their number 3 receiver behind Fitz and Christian Kirk. Only on 3rd down and 10. He's not going to get the first down, so they'll have to punt. Crabtree last year was productive in Baltimore in Lamar Jackson-centric offense, so you're talking more run plays from your quarterback. He was productive in Oakland, productive in San Francisco, 2 1,000-yard seasons in his career for Crabtree. And
it's a great signing,
yeah.
Michael Crabtree. There's no doubt. It was a no-brainer right from the get-go. The fact that this guy, he's still only 31 years old. He's experienced. He's productive. Hey, the first 8 games when Joe Flacco was a quarterback, he had 41 receptions. The last 8 games when they went to Lamar Jackson, he had 13.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. He's still productive. This offense, I think, is going to be really productive.
Short punt and fair caught at the 27-yard line. Cliff Kingsbury has a history with Michael Crabtree, both Texas Tech guys, so it'll be fun to watch Crabtree when he joins the Cardinals, who lead this game 9-7 midway through the 3rd.
Take a look at Gardeck, the barbarian right there, Dennis Gardeck. Well, this is a guy to watch, there's no doubt about it. A guy that actually has done a good job for the Arizona Cardinals, playing that weak side, inside linebacker, getting off blocks, making plays. Got to do a better job at the point of attack, using his hands just like this, making tackles in the backfield, getting off blocks. Guy that plays really, really well in transition. You can see he can cover as well. This guy does a little bit of everything for the Cardinals.
Mike Boone gets the carry, and he gets driven back after he was hit initially at the 26, and there's Gardeck. Not afraid to stick his face in there.
How about that, David? I mean, could we have timed that any better? Watch Gardeck right here. There you go. Stay in your gap. Honor your territory. Do your job. Get off the block. Look at him. What is good, Gardeck? To crush the enemy. To see them been driven before you. And the lamentations of their women.
What are you talking about? He got a yard on the play. Somehow they gave him forward progress at the 29. Beautiful cut by Boone up to the 40-yard line. A late flag comes in before Jalen Thompson makes the stop. But that was nice by Boone. Let's see what the flag is about.
Boy, was that the back judge throwing a holding?
Number 61, offense. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Still be 2nd down.
That's a backup center, Brett Jones.
Wow. He's holding, I believe, on Gardeck. Yep, that's what it was. Boy, anytime you got the back judge that throws the holding call, that is...
Got a cannon for an arm.
Boy, that's officiating with malice.
That's a hold.
Yeah, right there.
But it's been fun to watch Gardeck. He's from Sioux Falls. He had a fumble recovery for a touchdown last year, the first. And he led the NFL in rookie special teams snaps a year ago, and he's probably played more snaps on defense than anybody in the preseason for the Cardinals.
Look, we got Gardeck cam right here. That's it. Get your arms in there. Get off me. You got to be at least got to be more violent with those hands. Jack somebody, right? I'm sure that's what Billy Davis is going to tell him right there. You got to be more violent with the hands. Jack somebody up. Put him on ice. Get off the block. Make the play.
Well, depending on Hassan Reddick's health, he could be starting Gardeck week 1 against Detroit 2 weeks from tomorrow. Here's Mannion taking a deep shot here in 3rd and 7, and it's broken up by Chris Jones. Intended for Jordan Taylor. You said Jones has to step up with the injuries and suspensions, and Chris Jones did there.
Look at this. Chris Jones looking at the receiver's eyes and hands all the way and timed that beautifully. And that is the way. Tried to look for the ball, turn around, get his hands up. That is a skill, David, by a DB to look at the receiver's eyes in his hands and be able to time that and go up and knock the pig away.
Matt Weil has been busy today, punting again. Demir Bird is deep. Bird from his 17-yard line with one cut is across the 30. Bird past the 40 and out to the 42. Demir Bird has had a great game. That punt return, a long pass reception in the first half. We talked about the Cardinals maybe keeping 7 receivers. Bird is making his case today. And when we come back, Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator, will join us live. Cardinals by 2. Back in Minnesota, Dave Pasch and Ron Wolfley pleased to be joined now by Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. And all right, Vance, you had the 85-yard touchdown run that the first group gave up, but other than that, excluding the touchdown, 9 carries for 19 yards. Overall, were you pleased with the rush defense?
I am pleased. Obviously that one play for 85 yards plus, that can't happen. Obviously the front, we missed a tackle in the front, but the back end guys have to minimize big plays, and that didn't happen on that play. But we had a good scheme there. It was fit up. We didn't tackle on that play. That's the bottom line. But outside of that, it's been a good day as far as just simply doing our job, keeping the pass game to a minimum, pressuring the quarterback, and that's why it's only 7 points. The running game obviously is a big focus in this league, but the points are scored through the pass game. So if you're playing good pass defense and you're keeping the run to a minimum, you can win games in this league.
Coach, to me, it looked like Rodney Gunter has got to come down the line a little bit more on that play and make that play. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. It's the stretching running game, So that ball, we're making the ball cut back, by the fronts that we're playing. So we know the ball's going to cut back. It won't go front side with a 9 technique and a 5. So we're making it cut back. But that's the beauty of this running game. When it cuts back, it creates sideways one-on-one tackles, and that's why it's been so good for Kubiak and those guys in Denver, years ago. It creates one-on-one tackles. And when you have good backs like Dalvin Cook, if he gets in the secondary, it's a problem. But, you have to knock down the front, set the edge, and force the ball to wind back. And the guys on the backside have to make the play. So we've given up an 80-yard plus run and a 10-yard run, the same action. It winds back to the backside guys. We have to squeeze and simply tackle the ball carrier.
Given the fact that Patrick Peterson is not available the first 6 games, and then obviously the injury to Robert Alford, talk about Tremaine Brock and some of the young corners that are going to be forced to play against Detroit in 2 weeks.
Well, first with Brock, Brock's played in big games, so I trust Brock. I've been with Brock on 2 different football teams. He's a solid veteran corner who's going to do it right. Obviously, Murph was drafted for a reason. He's the first pick of the 2nd round, so he has to play for us. That's draft value, So he's had a good camp. He's gotten better and better each day. Obviously, as a rookie, he has his rookie moments, But now he played a full game at corner. He played a half a game at nickel. So he's got a big role for us to play outside corner and some inside nickel. So he's been thrust into a starting role, but he's been drafted to do so. So I'm excited to watch him grow and to be a good football player for us.
Coach, with your corner situation being what it is right now, schematically, how does it change your defense?
Well, it won't change, who we are, but obviously every game plan is different. I can't say I won't put pressure on the corners, because when you're game planning, every position has a hard down. But our experience obviously is in our front with Sizzle and Chandler and those guys and Corey. So early on, I'm going to put pressure on our front to stop the run, hopefully in shell, and to obviously rush 4 and to have a nice pressure package on 3rd down. So the pressure goes from those guys to our veteran players and to our coaching staff to have great game plans to obviously take care of those guys, on Sundays, but also have a plan to attack offenses.
When I think of Pat P and Robert Alford, I think of press man.
Yes.
I think here it comes, baby. Press man cover.
Right.
Will you play a little bit more zone?
Well, we'll see. Again, every game's different. Every team has different receivers. Because you're playing press doesn't mean the corners have a lot of stress. We play press with leverage. So from time to time, that guy's got inside help. So, and that's the beauty of having a good coverage package and allowing guys to play to their leverage. But again, every game plan is different. But obviously, if you had Pat P and you have Alford, you've got 2 lockdown guys, and it allows you to dictate first, second down.
There's a guy that's standing right behind you, Vance, that has really shined again today, and he's been forced into a situation where he has to start because of what happened with Darius Philon, and that's Zach Allen, rookie out of Boston College. How has he progressed through camp?
He's had a great camp. I mean, he definitely fits the bill as a 5 technique for us. He's got the length, he's got the explosion, he can rush the passer, and he's tough. You know, and again, he's a young guy. He's going through some growing pains, but as far as him being a good player, that's fact. He's going to be a good player for us, but it won't be perfect. But as he plays more, he'll get better and better. But I'm happy to have him and Murph. You know, I mean, that's two rookie draft picks that's going to start for us week 1.
Coach, I hesitate to ask you this because I know with any coach, you're never going to be satisfied.
Right.
You're never going to be happy, right? But for the most part, as you look at your defense right now, where do you think you need to get better? Where's your concern, if at all?
Well, obviously depth. You know, I feel good about our starting 11. You know, including not having Patrick and those guys. You know, not having Patrick, not having Alfred. You know, Darius gone, Robert gone. You know, not having Hassan for training camp. You know, so that's my concern is building depth. We've got young guys working, you know, to fill those roles, and they're obviously playing good football today. They played good football last week, but that's my concern. Just overall depth, you know, continue to stop the run game. Because the run game, obviously, it just breaks your spirit if you don't stop the run game. Last week, you know, it was 40 for 3.1. Okay, not bad in the run game. It seemed like a lot of yards, but the pass game hurt us last week. The first week, the run defense wasn't very good, and they scored 13 points. So, again, to keep it in perspective, points are scored in the pass game, but you can't be soft in the run. It just breaks your team spirit.
Vance, everybody wants to know, at age 36 in his 17th NFL season, can Terrell Suggs continue to be a dominant player?
I tell you, he can be. You know, his body is young. He looks twitchy. He looks explosive, and he's a big man. So, I mean, you can watch the game today. They didn't run at him, okay? They ran away from him. So that's the beauty of having Sizzle on the edge. The ball's not going to go outside of him. And if it's a one-on-one pass rusher on 3rd down, he's going to win more than he's going to lose.
How much of your defense have you shown here in preseason, right? Are you one of these guys? You're very protective of what it is you want to do?
I haven't shown much. The first 2 weeks, I had no game plan. Today, I had a little bit of game plan because I wanted to have some confidence going into our first week. And this is our last chance for our starters to play, so I wanted to come out here with some confidence. So we did game plan for this game. Not a full game plan, but enough to play well, and it's proven to help our guys play well. But you know, I've been calling defense for 3 years now, so my stuff's on tape. But I'm going to wait till week 1 to kind of unveil the rest of it.
We look forward to it. Thanks for your time,
All right,
Vance.
guys. Thanks for having me.
Vance.
Bye-bye.
Vance Joseph, who spent the last 2 years with the Denver Broncos as their head coach.
Well, you look at that guy right there. That's all dog. T-Sizzle.
Meanwhile, a good drive put together by Brett Hundley in the second-team offense. Hundley taking a shot down the field for Isabella, and he can't make the play. Incomplete.
Wow, that was a great read by Brett Hundley, and it looked like a good throw. Did this go off his fingertips? Andy Isabella just running right down the middle of the field, just, I think, over the fingertips of Andy Isabella right there. But look at the 4-3-1, David. Wow. That's pure speed, baby.
And hard to tell if that was just an overthrow by Hundley or if it did hit. It may have glanced off the fingertips, but was it really a catchable ball for Isabella? He did have a drop in the first half. Here's Hundley on 3rd and 10, and that's incomplete. It's going to be 4th down. 2.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, right here. Going to punt it away.
Overall, Brett Hundley has had a good preseason, which for the Cardinals is encouraging because you've got a rookie at quarterback. And obviously Kyler Murray's the guy until there's an injury, but hopefully there won't be. However, if Hundley has to play, he does have some experience playing in the league. He sat behind Russell Wilson last year. He did play when Aaron Rodgers got hurt a couple years ago in his Green Bay Packer days. He was a 5th-round pick by Green Bay back in 2015 and started 9 games 2 years ago. He's been pretty solid for the most part in preseason. Vikings will have the ball when we come back. Arizona in front late third quarter in Minnesota. The card by Gila River gives you the power to play your way. Sign up today at any Gila River location. Dave Pash and Ron Wolfley in the booth, and Lisa Matthews down on the field. Your guy, Dennis Gardeck, right on cue with our last segment. We didn't get to ask Vance about him, but I know Coach Joseph's a big fan of Gardeck, and again, he may be pressed into more action on defense because of Hassan Reddick's injury situation. Big hole for Boone, past the 20 and out to the 31. Probably good that we're not talking to Vance Joseph at this moment.
Well, there it was right there. 22 personnel, 2 backs, 2 tight ends, also known as pair personnel. You're running the tackle zone with a lead back through the hole, and you can see it. Hat on a hat and a huge hole play side. Didn't have to even hit the cutback. That was well executed by the Vikings.
And a 20-yard pickup for Boone. Mannion to throw. Pressure coming from Reed. The pass is caught. Close to a first down. It was Taylor making the catch, and it is enough to move the chains based on where the initial catch was made in forward progress. A 12-yard gain to the 42.
Once again, Brooks Reed coming around the corner right. Almost got there. You can see Jones right here working against the receiver, running the out route, the comeback route. That's not bad coverage. He's got to do a better job making the tackle, be more physical.
Boone again, this time running to the left side, and he's dragged down by Reed. So not much on the carry, maybe 2 yards.
Once again, the outside zone play, the tackle zone being run right now. They're keeping it play side. The backs, Boone hitting it play side, doing a good job. Brooks Reed setting the edge. You can see Gardeck right there making the play as well. This is what Gardeck's got to do, continue to show that he can ball.
Mannion gets hit, and his pass is knocked away at the last second, incomplete. Ezekiel Turner got a hand on that ball intended for Tyler Conklin. Turner, another important player because he's very good on special teams. You see the shot from Jalen Thompson right as Mannion released that ball.
Well, that was actually dropped right in the hands of the receiver, Conklin. But a nice, you're right. Zeke got his hand in there, David. Got his hand in there. Nothing but a thumb to turn the pig away.
There was a penalty, but Arizona declined it, so it's 3rd and 8.
And that kid has got a chance, I think, to have a 10, 12-year career in the National Football League if he keeps developing.
Mannion on 3rd down and 8. And wide open in the middle of the field is Johnson for a first down and more inside the 40-yard line of Arizona.
Somebody blew an assignment. That's an ME, a mental error. You don't want to have those. The bane of all defensive coordinators, the ME, wide open across the middle of the field. And it looked like they were trying to actually bring pressure. Somebody forgot to bail.
How about the Vikings getting one more rep, snapping it before the clock hits 0, and Boone is grabbed by 2 Cardinals. There was movement.
Offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still first down. This is the end of the 3rd quarter.
Well, somebody's got to go out and repair the fence on the back 40.
So we played 3 quarters in Minnesota. That means we are a little bit closer to the regular season. 2 weeks from tomorrow, the Detroit Lions come to Arizona to kick off 2019.
Is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
And we're back in Minnesota, where Clapgate 2.0 was a big subject in the first half, and I'm sure will be over the next 2 weeks. As Mike Boone gets the carry, and he is driven to the ground by Miles Brown, but Kyler Murray looked good in the first half. 14 of 21, 137 yards. But we also saw a couple of false start penalties against Brett Hundley. One just for lifting his leg, the other for what the official said was an abrupt clap.
They're going to have to get that ironed out. The one thing you're not going to iron out is Miles Brown's belly button. That thing's about 6 inches deep. Miles Brown.
Sure, he appreciates that.
Hey, you know what? Making him money.
Pass is caught along the sideline of the 41-yard line. Cole Hicatini on the catch. Brooks Reed in coverage that time. It's going to be interesting whether Brooks makes the team, because obviously Suggs and Chandler Jones are the starters, but you've got a lot of guys at outside linebacker that have experience, but don't know if Andre Branch, who's 30, Brooks Reed, who's 32, can play special teams and be a backup. 3rd and 13. Mannion dumps it off. Here's Amir Abdullah. And he comes up short of the first down. Got about 7 yards on the play. See if they try a field goal here.
This is classic. Let's find out what one of our kickers got here. You know what I mean? That's typically what you do.
Although their kicker, Dan Bailey, we know what he can do.
Right. Well, let's get him some work right here.
Yeah.
This is 50 plus.
Well, they got the backup kicker in Corey Vedvik. So.
See, that's one of the reasons why. Let's find out about this kid. Hey, kid, what do you got right here? You got a cannon? Or you got a little pop gun?
He missed one earlier. This will be a 54-yard attempt. And it had the leg, but it is no good. He is 0 for 2, and the Cardinals remain in front. So the Cardinals in front by 2. You're going to hear from, we talked about some of the pass rushers the Cardinals have. Chandler Jones up next.
Welcome back to US Bank Stadium. Cardinals are up 9-7 here on Lisa Matthews down on the field with Chandler Jones. Now year 4 as an Arizona Cardinal. So you've seen some changes in the organization. What might feel different about this new era?
Yeah, I've definitely seen my 4th year with third head coach for this season. I'm really excited for Kyler and the rest of our offense to get going. But the biggest thing is about just gelling. You know, our coaching, they do a good job of of teaching all the players, and that's one thing I admire about our staff the most is just how great teachers they are.
Now you have a partner in crime. What can this dynamic duo do between you and Terrell Suggs and maybe David Johnson right here?
David Johnson. Well, listen. Well, now Johnson here. David, say hi to the folks here.
What's up, everyone? The great Chandler Jones, sack master. I think you have the most sacks since you've been in the league, right? Out of everyone in the league, I think so.
I don't know.
13 last season, so what's your goal this year?
My goal, that's the question that everyone wants to know. Better than last year. Better than last year.
All right, this wasn't the dynamic duo that I was talking about, but between you and Terrell Suggs, what can fans expect from you two?
I've learned so much from Terrell already. He's a great leader. He's great in the locker room. I mean, on the field, he's already showed me some. He has a sideways stance that he does, and he's trying to teach me it. So be looking out for it this season.
Now he played with your older brother Arthur. Did you feel like there was an automatic connection between the two of you?
Of course. You know, I knew Terrell before he came here. I had his number, and I would always text him about football. But I've always admired his football play. So the opportunity that I have to be on the team with him, it's just legendary.
Now you're switching back to a 3-4 to do so. How did you just prepare for this upcoming year?
One more time, I'm sorry.
How did you just for this physically to switch back to a 3-4?
Yeah, the biggest thing was losing weight. I know I couldn't play linebacker. Knew that I couldn't play linebacker at 280 pounds, so I had to drop about 20 to 15 pounds.
How did you do that?
Just dieting. I like to eat a lot of snacks late at night, so I stopped eating snacks late at night and just started to eat more salads and less carbs.
All right, D-Corp likes a very aggressive style of defense without the 2 starting corners. How does that change the front?
Just guys have to step up. I know it's not the best for us that we lost those 2 guys, but you know, that's how sport works. You know, the next guy stands up and next man up mentality. But as far as me, you know, I have to play. I have to put that more pressure on myself to be a better player and hopefully get back there faster.
All right, thanks, Chandler. Guys.
Yeah, his diet just like yours. Late night salads from Ron Wolfley. But
David, you love yourself a good salad, don't you?
But we knew Chandler was going to be important regardless, with the suspension to Patrick Peterson, the injury to Robert Alford. Even more so, Chandler Jones is going to have a big year for the Cardinals off the edge. Two weeks from tomorrow, Kyler Murray will make his official NFL debut as the Cardinals open the regular season against the Detroit Lions. We'll take us through what Kyler did today here in preseason game number 3.
Well, you can see him moving around the pocket right there, doing a nice job and using his legs to actually gain some positive yardage and, again, getting the ball out quickly. That's one of the hallmarks of this offense, and he does it very, very well. Also very accurate. Look at that throw right there across the middle. Really put the ball on the money for the most part. That converted a first down. And then, of course, you just watch him throw these fades down the field. That one to Keyshawn. Actually made a couple of nice throws to Keyshawn as well. Very accurate with his passes. The accuracy was back again. That's what I wanted to see. That in decision making, I thought he was nails.
So you wonder, as that pass is batted down by Dora, if what happened in week 2 we said long term would be good for him, if anything that happened today was a result of some of what happened last week, where he saw things that he's going to see in the regular season.
Yeah, absolutely. But I will say, David, I was a little surprised we didn't see more pressure on Kyler Murray. We didn't see cover 0. We didn't see bringing 6, right? We didn't see a lot of the blitzing. There were some, but we didn't see a lot of it like I thought we might see. Just the last possession, as a matter of fact, Mike Zimmer and the Vikings came with 0 coverage. Bring everybody after Brett Hundley.
Kyle Sloter's in the game, and he completes it to Johnson for a first down out past the 40-yard line, so they get about 22 yards on that play. Olabisi Johnson's had a couple of big catches so far.
Right here, Johnson does a nice job on the drag, and suddenly there it is. Yep. You know, you got a big guy chasing you right there. What do you say? Go ahead and I'll spin out of that one. Don't want to give him too much credit for that. That's just survival instinct for the most part, but nice job by Johnson on the drag.
Rookie from Colorado State. And the quarterback that threw it to him went to Northern Colorado and played for Denver a couple of years ago. Sloter. Let's see if the Vikings keep Sloter or if they just go with 2 quarterbacks. The Cardinals are more than likely going to keep just the 2. About half the teams, as a flag is thrown here, look like Nate Brooks had a hold of Johnson's jersey. About half the teams keep just 2 quarterbacks.
Pass interference. Pass interference, number 41, defense. First down at the spot of the foul.
So there are a lot of things that we're looking forward to seeing in the regular season. Obviously, Kyler Murray and the way he plays. The first time pass interference is reviewed in the regular season. What, you know, is the fallout from the abrupt clapping or leg lifting that's being called? What are some other things, Wolf, that you're really looking forward to seeing when the Cardinals play Detroit in 2 weeks?
Oh, David, I am so sorry to be so base, but you know what I'm going to say. It is the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Physicality, physicality, physicality.
Well, there's a big hit there, but a great catch. Jalen Thompson delivered the blow, but it was a good grab by Conklin to the 15-yard line.
Stopping the run is about being physical. It's about physicality. And physicality is a mentality that you develop. It's so hard to develop that mentality in today's NFL, in a training camp, David. It is.
Yeah.
Because of the rules. You can't hit as much as you once did.
Boone inside the 10, down to the 7. Did you see more physicality at the point of attack when the starters were in the game on both sides of the ball today?
I saw the most physicality from the starters today in this preseason game that I've seen all of training camp and all of preseason. There's no doubt of one play. There was one play, the play that went for 85 yards and a touchdown. Now listen, you can't just erase it. You can't say it didn't happen. It did happen. That one play, but Rodney Guthrie's got to do his job. That's what it comes down to. You have to do your job, gap responsibility.
Boone to the goal line and in. Touchdown, Minnesota. And the Vikings take the lead.
Well, the Vikings got physical on this possession right here.
Yeah.
They lined up, went 2 back as well from time to time. Said, what do you say we go ahead and run this play, see if you can stop it. North and south. And yeah, the backups are in the game for the most part right here, of course. Second and maybe even some third teamers out there as well. But that really is what I'm concerned about. You ask me about what it is I want to see against Detroit, it's the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Physicality.
To that point, I want to see if David Johnson is back to being David Johnson. Because, yes, the offensive line was a problem and you had a rookie quarterback last year, but David Johnson did not look at times like the runner we saw a few years ago. On the fade for a 2-point try, it is caught by Johnson, and the officials are trying to decide, and they say no, he was out of bounds, incomplete. But I want to see David Johnson. I know everybody's expecting at some point him to get back to being a 2,000-yard guy as we look at the replay here. Did that second foot hit any White? The ruling in the field was that that right foot got chalked. Let's see.
Is it? Oh.
Boy, it's so hard to tell.
Are you
There's
serious?
an official right there. Is there enough video evidence to overturn that? Doubtful. Although we had one overturned in the first half, or not upheld by replay and a clear fumble. So who knows? Back in a moment. 13-9 is the score.
Stop it.
They are still reviewing the 2-point conversion. Ruling in the field was an incompletion. Vikings lead anyway, 13-9 with 8:20 to go. Let's take another look here. Johnson's right foot. I mean, you've got 2 officials staring at it the whole way. And because it was ruled on the field incomplete, can't imagine video evidence being conclusive enough to overturn it. And they just announced that ruling in the field stands. And you can't tell.
You can't. They're booing, of course, because that's what fans do. They boo when something goes against them. But let's face it, right now, that's the classic example of if you don't have evidence, indisputable evidence, you can't overturn the call on the field. Would you say that was right, Dave?
And maybe that's why they didn't overturn what looked like a David Johnson fumble in the first half. TJ Logan takes a knee. Will come out to the 25.
That one's got me baffled.
SRP Power Performance, delivering water and power. How about Demir Bird? Maybe inching closer to securing a roster spot?
How about this kid right here? He's a smart kid, tough kid from what I understand. David, legendarily so. Somebody said he ran a 4.28. I don't know about you. That is getting it right there. Demir Bird really did flash here today, no doubt.
He's got 12 career catches, 3 years with the Panthers. Out of South Carolina.
Still a young gun.
It's interesting, Brett Hundley's still in the game here. They want him to get more reps. Don't know if we'll see him on Thursday. His deep ball here is pulled in. Pharaoh Cooper on the catch inside the 35-yard line. Excellent throw by Brett Hundley.
How about that right there on the go route? Pharaoh Cooper. What a great throw by Brett Hundley. Man, I'll tell you, it's truly amazing. You saw that?
See Larry
Fitzgerald.
I mean, Fitz is He does that like the whole game, like it's the Super Bowl.
He's running after the play. What a great throw by Brett Hundley.
41 yards, and now they're going to run the ball, and DJ Foster is dumped. There's a penalty flag down. I think that's one thing that gets overlooked and not discussed a lot about Larry Fitzgerald is he's such an encourager. He talks to everybody. I mean, he'll sometimes come into the lunchroom and he'll sit down with the broadcasters, the doctors. I mean, he wants everybody in the locker room to succeed.
Yes, look at him right there with Pharaoh Cooper. He's letting him know. There he's running down the field after Pharaoh Cooper like it was his rookie year. The guy is truly incredible. It's not only that he roots for others, but this guy's knowledge, the wisdom that he can share with others. He's so glad to do it. He's just an incredible human being.
That one through the hands of Foster, incomplete. Larry Fitzgerald, 1,303 career catches. He needs 23 to pass Tony Gonzalez to move into number 2 all-time behind Jerry Rice. He passed Terrell Owens last year, becoming number 2 all-time in receiving yards with 16,279. He's going to be 36 years old in a week. But again, 69 catches last year with that offensive line and a rookie quarterback. And Christian Kirk hurt, so there's not a lot of weapons around him. I'm with you, Wolf. I think he hits at least 80. He's only 2 years removed from 109 at age 34. Here's a pass down the middle, but unable to catch up to it is Cooper as Hundley overthrew him just enough.
Oh, baby. Brett Hundley wants that one back right there. That looked like the exact same route that Andy Isabella ran earlier in this game, down the middle of the field. A go route, post route, if you will, down the middle of the field, with the middle of the field wide open. For whatever reason, the Cardinals have missed on that twice now.
And I'm not dismissing what you're just saying, but I just want to finish up on Fitz. He seems so re-energized as Hundley drops back to throw here on 3rd down and 20. And just going to throw it away here, but Fitz seems so energized by this new offense and by Kyler Murray. I think a lot of people assume because it's the last year of his contract that, you know, this is it, but I'm not so sure. I mean, Larry, look, he gets to travel a lot. He gets to do all the things in the offseason that he likes to do. He loves the NBA. He loves to talk about the NBA. He can still do that while playing football. It's not like he's 40. He's 35. He's going to be 36. He's in great shape. He never gets hurt.
Yeah.
Don't hopefully pass factor yourself there.
But why are you talking to me?
I said myself. Don't do that to myself. But I'm not closing the door on Fitz playing multiple years.
No, I totally would agree with you on that, David. I kid you not. This guy is rejuvenated. For whatever reason, he is totally energized once again, and I don't think it's going to be a shock to anybody if he gets 80-plus balls this season. I really don't. You can see it already in training camp. He's been targeted, I don't know how many times already. More times than I've seen him targeted in the last 3 training camps, I would say, combined. This training camp alone.
And if Christian Kirk steps up, takes that next step, and becomes a number 1, now there's less pressure, fewer double teams on Larry Fitzgerald. He no longer becomes public enemy number 1 for the for opposing defenses. Speaking of Christian Kirk, he's with Lisa.
All right, year 2 for you. Coming off such a strong rookie campaign, do you feel like you're poised to pick off where you left off last year?
Definitely. You know, especially with how training camp and this offseason has gone for me, and, you know, just recovering from, you know, my injury and it feeling, you know, 100% and, you know, not having anything that's, you know, set me back this year. Just been on a roll and, you know, really happy with, you know, how I progressed this offseason and this team in general.
What do you feel like you learned about yourself throughout that recovery process?
A lot. You know, I tend to live in the future a lot and always thinking about, you know, my next step and, you know, always thinking ahead of things that I can do better for myself. And, you know, I think it was just something that, you know, God kind of sat me down and told me to slow down a little bit. And, you know, definitely a lot of nights spent on the couch with my foot up and, you know, icing it and doing a lot of rehab and whatnot. But just kind of figuring out what I can do to make sure that I'm the best me for this season to help this team win.
Being a pass catcher, what was your initial reaction to hearing that Cliff Kingsbury was going to be coming here with the Arizona Cardinals and just the type of offense that he runs?
A lot of excitement for sure. I remember when Coach Kingsbury would write me a lot of letters from Texas Tech recruiting me, you know, in high school, and, you know, phone calls and whatnot, trying to get me to come to Tech to be a leading receiver there, and, you know, obviously with everything that they did offensively. So just knowing that, you know, we're a part of it now, and, you know, just how this offense is developed, definitely excited to get the real thing going.
And it's a full circle for you and Kyler as well, playing together at Texas A&M, and you actually caught his first touchdown pass there. So do you feel like that prior connection has just helped with the transition for you guys?
100%, and, you know, it's nice to see how both of us have matured since that time, and, you know, we both spent time in that same system, and so it's kind of just picking up where we left off of. You know, we're on the same page with majority of things and still working out some kinks, but it's just good to kind of pick up where we left off from.
Is there any more frustration right now, having to keep things so vanilla, being able to really unlock this offense yet?
100%. There's a lot of frustration for, you know, us guys that love going out there and making big plays and, you know, running the double moves and, you know, all the things you do. So, gotta hold back, you know, it definitely gets frustrating.
Thanks, Christian.
Yeah, thank you.
I think Christian Kirk's going to be a star. And when you hear Jerry Sullivan, who has seen everything in the NFL, talk about the potential of Christian Kirk, Jerry has been a consultant with the team for the receivers he's going to stay on through the regular season, which is great. And again, Jerry Sullivan's a big reason why Anquan Boldin became such a great player.
Go talk to Larry Fitzgerald about Jerry Sullivan. The guy is a legend in the football universe.
So when he says Christian Kirk is going to be a great player, you buy that?
I do, totally. Well, first of all, it's the eye test. We look at Christian Kirk and what he's actually done here since he showed up.
There's Jerry, by the way.
There he
right
is.
of Larry Fitzgerald. Talking to Fitz.
Yeah, can we get a shot of him, Bo? There he is right there. Let's circle old Jerry. Jerry Sullivan, football legend. He's coached an awful lot of excellent wide receivers.
Was at LSU last year working with Ed Orgeron, and he's back now in Arizona. He was the offensive coordinator at one point here with the Cardinals back in 2003. When the Cardinals drafted Anquan Boldin in the second round.
Really interesting looking at how many coaches actually walk up to Jerry Sullivan before the game, right? And just pay their respects. Jerry, hey, Sully, how you doing, right?
Well, you look at him, Wolf, and you got Tom Clements, who's been around it. It's similar to some of the guys that Bruce Arians had on the staff. You know, you had Tom Moore and other coaches who had been around and seen things. So it's a nice combination. You've got some younger coaches with veteran coaches to work with the position group. David Rye is the wide receivers coach.
David Rye is an excellent coach.
This is the first charge timeout, Minnesota. 30-second timeout.
All right, so we're going to keep it here with the Vikings calling a timeout with 3:16 to go. Leading the Cardinals 13-9. Good possession for third-string quarterback Kyle Sloter so far. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our ground stats brought to you by Toro. Count on it. As you said, the 85-yard run happened, but that was half their rushing total.
Yeah, again, I think the line of scrimmage and the gap integrity across the board was so much better. Contested, competitive for the Arizona Cardinals' first-team defense. Yeah, you gave up the 85-yard run. That cannot happen. But if you go back and look at it on film, it was a simple mistake by Rodney Gunter.
Dylan Mitchell on the catch. Out of bounds short of the line to gain. That's fourth down. And about 4 or 5. Let's see what the Vikings do here.
David, honestly, if you go back and you look at that play, that 85-yard touchdown, Rodney Gunter's just got to seal the edge. He's contained. He's got to seal the edge, move down and make the tackle on the cutback right there. But make no mistake, They had a quarterback coming out on a bootleg after he handed off the ball, and that's why the quarterback bootlegs to try to impact that end man on the line of scrimmage.
By the way, that's David Ride there behind Cliff Kingsbury, the wide receivers coach. We talked about coaches working together, some that are younger and teaming with guys who are veterans. Let's take another look. You're talking about the touchdown the Cardinals scored to Dalvin Cook here. So
just go ahead and look at, Rodney Gunter right there. Did you see him take that one step up the field? The one step up the field rather than coming down and making that play. It's because of the bootleg off of it. Now listen, that's a hard play. There's no doubt about it. Sometimes you got to guess in that situation.
Well, in the Vikings, they want Kirk Cousins to run a little bit more so that threat of the bootleg is there because he is a good athlete.
Yep.
Henderson on the carry. Picks up about 9.
That doesn't really worry me. That is a mental error. That's an ME right there.
You're talking about Gunter.
Gunter. That's not good. There's no doubt about it. It's not good to have MEs. In fact, most old NFL coaches will tell you MEs will get you beat quicker than anything else. But we've been worried about the physicality of the front seven for the Arizona Cardinals, the physicality of that defensive box. That wasn't a physicality question. That was an ME.
We have hit the 2-minute warning in preseason game number 3. Back to Minnesota in a minute. Regular season is 2 weeks away. The Cardinals open at home against Detroit. In fact, 3 of their first 4 games are at home. And then something that I don't know that I've ever seen in the history of the National Football League. A full calendar month without a home game. They play the Niners on a Thursday. There's the bye in late November, so they don't play any home games in November.
That is very, very odd. But they do play on Halloween night. Oh, David, that's kind of cool right there, right? Anytime you can actually smear the eye black on and walk outside and get candy for it.
And then you also have the Browns and Steelers coming. December is going to be really interesting if the Cardinals are good with some of the opponents they have. They finish on the road at Seattle and at Los Angeles. But so much of the NFL is how you start. And you get 3 of the first 4 at home with Detroit, and then they go to Baltimore week 2. The Vikings just going to run the ball here to Henderson. Cardinals have 2 timeouts to see if they use him here. They're going to take another one. That Baltimore game, Wolf, is going to be interesting because you have Kyler Murray versus Lamar Jackson.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's going to be very interesting. Not only that, when you talk about the Baltimore Ravens, what is the one thing you think about? Offensively and defensively.
Physical football.
Oh, well done, David. Physicality. They have a mentality and a physicality. And that doesn't mean that the Arizona Cardinals don't. It means they've got to show it and they've got to develop it. And that's going to be an excellent test in week number 2 of mentality. Because the Baltimore Ravens, they're going to bring it.
And you also have the early start time, which will be, and has always been a challenge, and then for a lot of the young guys there, it's something unique as the Cardinals are out of timeouts here, so the clock is going to run, and it'll be 3rd down and about 7 or 8 for Minnesota. I'm really interested to see how Matt Patricia, week 1 for Detroit, attacks Kyler Murray in this offense. And keep in mind, Matt Patricia's defensive coordinator is a guy that he once worked for as a GA, Paul Pasqualoni, who was the longtime head coach at Syracuse, who's very familiar with, I don't want to even call what the Cardinals are going to do a college offense, but a lot of the aspects are from college, obviously, with Cliff Kingsbury.
I knew you were going to work the Cuse into it at some point in time.
Got to give Coach P a shout out when I can.
Somehow the Cuse was going to come on.
3rd and 9. Cardinals bringing some pressure here. Henderson able to get outside. Grab by Jones, and he did not get the first down. In fact, he's pushed out of bounds to stop the clock with 57 seconds left, and it will be 4th down and about 2.
Oh, man, somebody got the full Monty right there on the out. Oh, that is a good job by Chris Jones getting off the block and somehow making the play. Just hog tie. This is the great thing about the game of football, man, the blood sport, right? That's the fact that you got 57 seconds left in the 3rd preseason game right here. You got guys out here trying to make a football team, and some of the massive collisions that you'll have in a meaningless situation.
Is the 4th preseason game, or the 3rd preseason game in the 4th quarter when you got flattened by the fridge, William Perry?
I'm trying to think about that, David. I
know it's one you tried to forget.
I'm trying to remember exactly. I think it was the 3rd. Yes, it was the 3rd preseason game at Soldier Field. They had signed him 3 days prior to us playing them. And that's when Ditka grabbed him in the 4th quarter and ran him out of the field. And the place exploded. That here comes the fridge. He was 6'3" and reported at 385 pounds. We called him the man of perpetual motion because when he was standing still, he was still moving.
Slaughter dumps it off for a first down inside the 5 and into the end zone for a touchdown is Kari Blasingame. What you left out of that story is what happened when you tried to block the fridge.
David, they scored a touchdown. Are you kidding me? Get back to the game, David. This is fascinating right here. Nice little misdirection play by the Minnesota Vikings. Little bootleg. What do you say? We fake it here. We'll boot it out here and then dump it off underneath. That was well designed by the Minnesota Vikings and well executed.
Stop changing the subject. I want to get back to the fridge. No,
I did try to block it.
No. But it's all right. One thing we haven't touched on that I want to make sure we hit here before the end of this telecast. I'm sure you and Paul will talk about it a lot on Thursday.
Yes.
The Cardinals, because they had the worst record in the league last year, well, when cuts happen next weekend, they will have the first crack at every player that's released. When a player is cut, they go on the waiver wire. The Cardinals will be able to claim first the guys that are cut. If you have 4 years or less time in the league, you are available. And I'm going to just throw this out there. I'm guessing. But I think there's going to be 5 to 7 players that make the team one day that a couple of days later are not on the team because the Cardinals have grabbed somebody off of another team's.
Yeah, I would say this
waiver.
To anybody that's number 49, 50, 51 on the roster. Don't buy a house.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't do that. There's no doubt about it. In today's NFL, those last 4 or 5 positions get churned out pretty good and pretty regularly, I would say, by almost every NFL team. Now listen, having that number 1 waiver claim, that's a big deal. There's no doubt about it. It's a good thing when you were 3-13 the year before, but those players are out there for a reason.
Sure.
Never forget that as well.
Sure.
The one guy that is most interesting to me is the veteran. I'm speaking generally. The veteran that is 3 years in the league, maybe 4 years in the league, right? A guy that has been let go because maybe they just have this incredible amount of talent at a certain position room, and then he's cut loose out on. There are some guys that can play. Some veterans, some 3-4 year veterans that can play for whatever reason, their situation, now they're out on the street. That's the guy who's interesting to me.
I get, and I understand what you're saying about the waiver claim and its significance when it comes maybe to 2019. But you also are going to be able to put a claim in on some players that you really like coming out of college or that you've scouted for a while that you think can help you for years, not just for this year. And
yes.
That's why I think it may be more important than the veterans. But yes, there are going to be vets that they look at too that are cut maybe because they make too much money. 20 seconds left. TJ Logan up to the 40. Cardinals out of timeouts. Thursday night, you'll have the game with Paul in Denver. The starters will not play.
Talk about the witching hour.
Not sure who will play.
That's the witching game. Bring your broom.
I think people will leave this game, though, feeling a little bit better about the Cardinals as opposed to a week ago against the Raiders.
No doubt. Take away that one mental error. I think they're going to be pretty happy with what they see on tape.
Hundley gets out of trouble, throws it away. 3 seconds left. But when the regular season starts, we won't even remember what happened in the preseason.
Nope. Not going to count. Won't matter.
Michael Bidwill, team president on the left. Steve Kine, general manager on the right.
And we still have not seen the plethora of plays and personnel groups and formations and tempo that this offense is going to bring.
I think the last thing you said as that pass is caught by Cooper and the game is over, tempo. That, to me, in terms of what we're going to see from Cliff Kingsbury's offense, I'm most interested in how fast are the Cardinals going to go. Is it sustainable to go at that speed when you only have a 53-man roster and only 45 play?
What kind of impact will it have on the team?
Yes.
Not the offense,
yes.
The team.
Yep. Final score, Minnesota 20, Cardinals 9. Only one preseason game to go. Thanks for watching Cardinals football on the Arizona Cardinals Broadcast Network. The next preseason game is mentioned Thursday, August 29th. Arizona will be on the road in Denver. Paul Calvisi will be in to call that game with Ron Wolfley and Lisa Matthews. For Wolf, Lisa, our entire outstanding crew, Dave Pasch saying so long from US Bank Stadium. Cardinals lose today to the Vikings 20-9. This has been an exclusive presentation of the Arizona Cardinals Football Club.
Arizona Cardinals preseason football has been brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. By Hyundai, proud partner of the Cardinals. By Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness. And by Desert Financial Credit Union. Wherever life takes you, we have your back.